But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Remember yesterday we were talking about those two morons on the local radio station, WNEW? Mm-hmm. They had this contest where they encouraged people to have sex in public places. Well, they're toast. It's over. They apparently went way over the line when they encouraged a couple to have sex in St. Patrick's Cathedral and then broadcast these activities on their program. Opie and Anthony, out of here. The couple has been charged with obscenity and public lewdness. They're due back in court in October, accused of having sex in the church while worshipers observed the Feast of the Assumption. What a tasteful experience this whole thing was. The radio show offered a prize for listeners to have sex in public places. When public outrage reached the boss's desk, the head of Viacom dropped the axe on the show. And the postscript is the Catholic League says the punishment fits the crime and it will now drop its complaint with the Federal Communications Commission. Much, I'm sure, to the relief of the people who own WNEW Radio.
How many of you are here for the Open tennis in Queens? How many of you are here for... Okay. How many of you are here for the Open sex at St. Patrick's Cathedral? How many of you are? All right, that's fine. What? Hey. Don't ask if you don't want to hear the tough answers.
And welcome to the Opie and Anthony program. Yes, that's right, kiddies. Happy anniversary. 3 years ago today, we ruined our careers. Right, we would never work again. Yeah, we're going to go down memory lane a little bit today.
3 years?
3 years ago today, yeah.
Jesus.
3 years ago today, we did our Sex for Sam thing and got fired!
Wow.
And then had to take 2 years and 3 months off.
Can't believe that was 3 years.
3 years ago, man.
Jesus.
It's kind of fun to look back a little bit because everyone said that we wouldn't work again.
Well, it's fun now that we're working.
Of course.
It wasn't fun for a couple of years when we weren't working to listen to that. Wasn't that a bittersweet thing like that Letterman? All of a sudden you're getting some type of recognition and people are acknowledging it like Letterman. And but you're fired. It's kind of like, all right, well, we're getting some press on that one.
We sure are.
But what good will it do? None.
Yeah, well,
that stunk. That whole 2-year period stunk.
Here's another one. Which one was this? Hardball.
Most people come to St. Patrick's Cathedral to pray. But last week, one couple allegedly came to the New York City landmark to have sex. Brian Florence and Loretta Harper were arrested for public lewdness after their carnal communion, a few feet from worshipers, was described live on the radio. Shock jocks Opie and Anthony had encouraged the couple to have sex at locations where a producer was waiting to call in the play-by-play. The radio team, part of Infinity Broadcasting, is off the air, and their managers have been suspended. But religious organizations are demanding the station's license be revoked.
This is outrageous. Not only does it involve obscenity in the most extreme form, people having sex at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in St. Patrick's Cathedral on a holy day, but the nerve of these people to actually have it as a setup.
For its part, the station says WNEW regrets the unfortunate incident that took place. We apologize to anyone who has been offended and have taken measures to ensure that it does not happen again.
All right, maybe playing these clips isn't fun after all.
Yeah.
That was Ken Stevens' quote, that awful, we're sorry if anyone was offended.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that was Ken Stevens.
I don't know who that was.
I think they even told him to shut his trap. I think that came from way, way, way up.
The backpedaling jerk-offs. Right. Oh, we apologize. Everything should be hunky-dory now. No, it shouldn't.
No.
We're fired.
Here's another one.
The radio station that fired shock jocks Opie and Anthony is still under investigation. The Federal Communications Commission says it's being flooded with complaints regarding WNEW-FM. The station broadcast a couple allegedly having sex inside St. Patrick's Cathedral, and now the FCC is looking into whether to strip the station of its broadcast license. But experts say never before has a station lost its license based on an indecency complaint. Right now, WNEW is filling the slot once filled by Opie and Anthony, seen here, with a nationally syndicated talk show. Meanwhile, the couple involved in the alleged sex stunt is facing charges of public lewdness and obscenity.
Oof. It should have done NEW a favor and pulled the license. It probably have more listeners than it does now without a license.
Yeah, that's one thing. The radio station we did this on has never come back.
Just crashed and burned, and that's it. It has not come back.
It's still suffering 3 years later.
Ratings in the toilet.
Still has no audience.
Good move.
Absolutely no audience whatsoever. They're doing like classic hip-hop dance, Puerto Rican style. If you're a black person living in a white neighborhood, that's their format.
Enjoy.
Enjoy it.
The guys, they're such good guys. They only ask people to have sex in St. Patrick's Cathedral. Anyway,
well, you know.
Everybody can make a mistake.
Priests are doing it. Why not?
That's what I said. I'd make the hetero joke, but I will not. Anyway, you know, those are the guys who had a little contest on their show. They wanted people to have sex in surprising places. And St. Patrick's, I found that rather a surprising place to have sex. They also had their listeners...
Yes.
Somebody wrote this copy and I didn't change it. Do it. Okay, let's not do it that way.
Do it.
Ask their listeners to have relations in a Disney store.
Oh, now see, that's out of line. That bothers me. Yeah, that bothers me more than the church.
That is blank and goofy.
That is blank and goofy. Very nice.
And in the Cinderella section.
Oh.
That's just wrong.
Okay, you know what? Actually, I've changed my opinion. I don't believe these.
Do you know why that is almost more disgusting than St. Patrick's? Not more disgusting than God's house, but close, because there are so many kids around.
Yeah, exactly.
And these guys love that idea because they also had a couple do it, as we say, in FAO Schwartz, in Tiffany's.
Tiffany's I can live with, but a kid's
Carnegie
store,
Hall.
that's just not, you know, I just,
you're looking at the wrong person.
Having a little kid, that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's not cool. I was in Toys R Us last night, and had that been going on, there'd have been trouble. Someone would have choked on a Winnie the Pooh doll because I had taken them out.
Not around Mike. They also had their listeners have sex at Hard Rock Cafe, which I didn't actually find that surprising, and McDonald's. So just a little mixed sex.
What's wrong, Jimmy?
This is the worst dialogue I've ever heard in my life. It's horrendous.
It's a national TV show.
What show is that?
This is Fox Good Day. Oh, Fox Good Day. It's local, I guess.
This
is a local news show here in New York City.
That is atrocious.
There would have been trouble.
Yeah, someone would have choked on a poo doll.
They try to portray it like they were children in plain view of people having sex. Weren't they in closets and like elevator mechanical rooms, things like that were in FAO Schwartz? It wasn't like they were standing on top of kids' toys with children watching, having sex. It was in like little nooks and crannies and closets of some of these places.
It wasn't like they made an announcement and made sure all the kids gathered.
Gather around, children.
We're going to show you something that you usually don't see at FAO Schwartz. Ho, 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 ho.
God, they tried so hard to make it something it wasn't, you know? Tried so hard to boost this up because the story, the reality of it wouldn't have been that titillating, exciting, dangerous. Reality is, yeah, they went into places like FAO Schwartz and the Disney store, but they were inside rooms, in closets, dressing rooms, things like that no kid is going to see them having sex in. Ridiculous.
Company
just like the church. Just like the church. It wasn't in front of people that were there to pray. They were in a vestibule. There was no one around. Like the security guard was around. He came running into the scene, but that was it. But they liked to pump it up and make it seem like it was more than it was.
McDonald's. So just a little
How do you have sex at a McDonald's? My God.
I don't know. I worked at Burger King. There are a lot of little crevices you can get yourself into.
Now, some
but the polyester uniform near the grease fryer is always a very.
You just smell to it and you stink.
That's right.
Then you gotta take your shirt off.
And if you want to hear the tape, I don't know why you would, but if you want to, if you're missing Opie, what are their names?
Opie and Anthony.
I've screwed it so many times I can't say it right now. You can actually hear the tape of the couple having sex at St. Patrick's on the internet. And
no, you can't,
no,
you asshole.
You actually can't. Again, wrong. That's I
Can we get the fucking phone call? I don't think we've ever re-aired it.
Here's the let's get it because
I have it yet. We'll have it.
We got to show people because they talked about this like it was live sex being broadcast over our airwaves that day. That's how they described it. Look, and you could download it off the internet and hear the couple having sex at St. Patrick's. No, you can't, because it didn't happen. There was no audio. What actually got broadcast was nothing. It was probably the tamest thing we've ever had on the air. And I mean, with any dialogue of us talking about anything, there was nothing there. But it didn't make a good story.
All right, we're waiting for that audio. Hopefully we'll have it soon.
Who's the internet.
Who's the
and
broad?
some people...
Huh? Who's this broad?
Who is that broad?
I don't know. I don't think she does TV anymore.
They're just terrible. Just completely uncompelling and uninteresting.
We handed them one of the best stories, one of the best New York stories in recent memory. Well, except for the Biggie, obviously. And they had nothing. They had nothing.
Yeah.
Sex at St. Patrick's on the internet, and some people think that it's not real, that they really weren't, but when you listen to the tape, I think it's fairly clear that they were. The woman was found without any bottoms on. And the security guard walks up, and the security guard is like, what is going on here? And the guy from their radio show is saying to him, it's okay, leave them alone, it's their right.
Wow. You know, I think my opinion about this is that you don't need to be dirty to be fun. You can actually... I'm just dead serious. You can come up with another bit than that.
That's all you had?
That's it. Hey, people. Hey.
Because that's all we did on the radio 4 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Don't need to be dirty to be
was just
funny
having couples have sex all over the place. That's all we did, you fucking asshole.
And no one ever said it was their right to have sex. She's just blurting out bullshit.
Right.
Just blatant bullshit coming out of that mouth.
And it turned out the security guard that found the couple that day had a very shady past. He was...
he got thrown out of St. Pat's.
He got fired. Not many people know that. He made a horrendous witness.
He was stealing from the poor box.
That's what I heard, supposedly. Yeah, he was stealing from the poor box.
That's what the papers reported when he got fired.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he got fired.
They would have kept you on the air. Do you understand how fucking fast that would have been to play up? This is the guy this is your witness?
Yeah, stop.
Boy, did they screw up by yanking you guys.
Chick name is Julia Barber. Oh, Julia Barber? Kenny!
Yeah.
You're talking about, that was Julia Barber from L.A.?
Yeah, she was on that show, Good Morning World or whatever.
Okay, I think her L.A. show was canceled too, right? They were trying to bring her to New York. I know who she is.
Yeah, and what she wanted to talk, she's talking about having sex on that extreme dating show at night.
Oh, really? Well, she was also the one they tried to team up with Regis before they found Kelly. And Regis,
really?
Yeah, Regis couldn't handle her energy. Her energy is, like, completely ridiculous. All right. Well, she's had a pretty much failed TV career, so.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Kenny.
What does she have, like a high energy? She's like really peppy?
Really high energy. She's an older lady trying to still look hot and sexy doing
really?
TV. She's awful. Absolutely awful. Here's another one.
Another sex scandal in the Catholic Church tonight, but this one involves a radio stunt. 3 people are under arrest for having sex in St. Patrick's Cathedral while radio fans listened in. Why would anyone want to do this? Well, Alita Lopez is live right now at St. Pat's to explain.
Let's get her live.
Why would anyone want to do this?
Why?
Can't wait for the answer. Here it comes.
Kaidi, Opie, and Anthony, the duo from 102.7 WNEW, has long been known for their antics, most recently for having a Boyer bus filled with barely clad women cruise around Times Square. Now, that got a lot of press from City Hall, but tonight's sex in public places stunt that got all the way here to this holy place may have gone too far. Now, police say 37-year-old Brian Florence and 35-year-old Loretta Lynn Harper, both of Virginia, were arrested for having sex on a vestibule outside St. Patrick's Cathedral during the live Opie and Anthony show this afternoon around 4:45. A security guard discovered the pair and 42-year-old Paul Mercurio of New York City, who was working with the station and apparently was on a cell phone relaying the act on air. Tonight, the trio are at Midtown North Precinct, and the couple is charged with obscenity in the 3rd degree. Paul Mercurio for acting in concert. Now, the incident today was part of the radio show's Sex for Sam contest seen here on this website. It challenged people to have sex in public places Thursday, August 15th, today, with a spotter from the show tagging along. Now, couples will accumulate points for where and who was involved in these acts. The couple with the most points, the prize, was a trip to Boston.
Well, she described it accurately.
All right. She
exactly
really got
that.
Completely right.
She got all the facts. It was Paul. It wasn't someone from the show. It was
It was
a
in a
great
vestibule.
description.
It wasn't in the actual church.
It was
Very
relayed.
good.
The message was relayed from him over the air, not the couple. You couldn't
Wow.
hear them.
Wow.
Perfect.
to Boston. Now, again, tonight, the trio is in the Midtown North precinct and is expected to be arraigned tomorrow morning. Now, police also tell us that Florence, the man from the couple caught in the act, was also taken to St. Clair's Hospital to get prescribed medication for, of all things, a back pain. Now, no comment tonight from St. Patrick's Cathedral or the radio station. We're live tonight at St. Patrick's Cathedral. I'm Lolita Lopez for the WB11 News at 10. Peter, back to you.
All right, Lolita, the prize was a trip to Boston. Go figure.
Oh, wow.
Hey, shut up. What's that guy getting at?
Go figure.
WB11, the only one that got it right so far.
Yeah. Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there were so many news reports and commentary and,
Oh, it just went on and on.
People just discussing our lives.
Whether we should work, whether we will work again. We're done in the business. I like those guys. We've gotten those after each of our firings. The guys that get on and just say, well, it's over for them. That's it. You'll never see them again. They're done. They're going to have to find another career. They're done. Oh, well, we're back.
We're back again.
We
Thanks,
come back.
XM. Satellite radio.
That's
spreading
it.
the virus once again. Slowly but surely rebuilding our radio careers, getting more gooder every day.
More gooder.
Remember we thought we might be arrested? That night the phone was still, Billy Mack was still going, look, they might arrest you guys, they might not. And, of course, Ben was fueling all that with his, Ben was, don't do that, they might come out and arrest everybody. He had no facts at all.
Don't.
Fucking Ben's horrifying everyone. That little phone.
His little phone.
Let's say hi to Jerry. Jerry, what's up?
Hey, Ope, how you doing?
Pretty good, Jerry.
Good. I wanted to remind, I guess, the new listeners or you guys that the guy was taken out, the guy who had sex in the church was taken out a couple of years, or maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, by a heart attack.
Yeah, the guy that was in that contest and arrested, he ended up dying of a heart attack. That is a fact.
Florence. I can't remember his first name.
Brian.
I don't really know the
Brian,
details, but I heard that he had a rough life in general.
Yeah.
So
something tells me he wasn't going to the hospital for back medication. I think it was like methadone or something.
I know some facts about that, but we'll just let it be. But he ended up passing from a heart attack.
And boy, the city raked those two through the coals. I mean, the way they handled it, the city for over a year they dragged it out because they really couldn't get them on much. So they just really made them come up from Virginia about 8-10 times.
They just wanted to make their lives a living hell because they had nothing on the couple. They were found innocent. For the most part, right? They had a little community service, but they were found innocent of the major charges. And, the fact is they knew that, so they were like, well, let's just make them come up here for a year, back and forth, taking time off from work and everything else.
That girl's name was Jillian Barbary was her name.
Yeah.
The guy was saying Julia Barber.
Yeah.
Or something. And
I knew what he was talking about. Thanks, Jerry.
She's a little dirty girl.
Why?
Looking at pictures of her... She's in, like, bra and panties, bikinis.
Yeah, she tries
got, like, a huge camel toe.
No.
Yeah, she tries to dress really sexy.
Look at her.
Oh, she doesn't look like that anymore, bro.
Look at her huge camel toe there, Jimmy. You like that?
Yeah, she doesn't look like that anymore.
No, because there's plenty of pictures of her up there.
She's nice.
See?
Oof. She's definitely hot.
Looks like she has Leno's chin in her panties. Just because it wasn't like a split toe. It was like one of those just big fat ones. Which could be like, just big meat, or it could be a toboggan. Whatever it is. I want to go
meaty.
We're waiting for that audio. I hope Eric has it soon. He's going to have it in a minute. All right. Let's go to Chucky from whackbag.com. Chucky, what's going on?
We should have the billboard up this afternoon in O-Town.
These guys are obsessed with O-Town. What is the billboard going to say in O-Town? This is what's so funny. I guess I got to tell the brand new listeners. We're getting new listeners every day. We're not getting much marketing these days. We get a splash of marketing every once in a while. XM will throw us a bone. Well, our fans have taken it upon themselves, and they bought themselves a billboard. Right, Chucky?
Right.
And you're putting it up in O-Town, Orlando.
Actually, it'll be in Maitland where the studio is.
Where the studio is?
Yes.
Yeah. And what does it say?
Mr. Phillips, the Pests win. You lose. Good day, sir. The Opie and Anthony Army commemorating the Pat Battle of O-Town. It's in school bus yellow against black, and it's going up on a Clear Channel billboard.
Wow. And you're down there just to make sure the billboard is put up right?
No, I'm not.
I thought you were down in O-Town.
No, I'm in Philadelphia and about to fly shortly to Atlanta.
No, I mean, the appreciation is huge for this little thing you did. And I think I saw what the billboard's going to look like, and there was something missing. Hate to be picky, but is there any mention of where Opie and Anthony can be heard?
No, there's not. We weren't sure whether any legal issues on XM and 202, so we decided just to do a tack with him. We do want to check with Eric Logan on what they be.
The pests are emailing
make sure
Elo,
that they don't prosecute us on.
Okay.
We know they have to protect their rights.
Elo loves your emails, by the way.
He does read them.
He reads all the emails from the pests. So, all right, sir, that's pretty cool.
Thanks very much, man.
And wait till the other ones. Oh, happy birthday, Jimmy.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
What do you mean wait for the other ones? How many did you guys buy?
Oh, just for other Pat battles.
Oh,
other plans. We've got something special for Russ Martin planned, and we've got other things planned down the road.
And how much does a billboard cost?
This one was $1,000.
For how long?
1 month.
Wow, that's not bad.
That's pretty cheap.
It's a small one, and out of the way, most of them are about $3,000 to $4,000 a month.
That's all. That's all a bill. I'm not saying that's all to minimalize it. I'm just saying when you're looking at a company, I thought it was a lot more than that. That's not bad, man. I'm glad. Thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah, in New York it'll be a lot more.
I wonder how much it is for a month in New York. You think probably $20,000?
Something like that. We're checking on it.
It's got to be way up there. So this billboard's going to be right outside the studios down there?
It's going to be about 2 miles away or 3 miles away, but we have been advised by the guys at Clear Channel that he will definitely see it. He seemed to pick the sales rep seemed to pick this up after he knew what it was for on the sense, and they'll make sure that he knows what it is, but he's likely to see it before they tell him.
All right, Chucky, you guys rock. Thank everyone at Whackbag that donated for our billboard.
Okay.
And let us know when the next fund is. Maybe we'll be willing to throw some cash in. How great would that be?
Oh, the next fund is already collected for the next project. We're waiting for a third one.
Oh, well, Jesus. Let us know. Guys have a fucking union going.
Pests.
Operation Mayhem. I love the pests. They've taken it upon themselves to make this show big again. All right, Chucky, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
All right. The pest thing is getting out of hand. Where's the Starbucks thing? We started talking about this, and then Howie Mandel came in on Friday and just kicked ass for our radio show.
He was great.
He was unbelievable on Friday. Hopefully you heard it or heard it during the replay, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about the Starbucks machine. Remember that?
Yeah.
We were talking about how I spend about $50 myself a week on Starbucks easily, and Jimmy's got to be even higher than that. Ant's got to be, even though you don't drink coffee, you like their apple cakes and this and that.
I love the apple cake.
You're probably doing an easy $20 a week, no problem.
Sure.
So between us three, we're probably over $100 a week. Spending on Starbucks and mentioning Starbucks on every single show.
Yeah.
Giving them free, advertising. And down in Washington, they got these great Starbucks coffee machines. I'm like, we want one up here. We've been asking for one for about 4 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're not getting anywhere. So one of the pests actually wrote Starbucks.
Yeah.
After hearing the many morning shows about coffee, Starbucks coffee machines, etc., I took it upon myself, this is one of the pests writing this, to send an email to Starbucks concerning the O&A show getting their own machine. I got this response today. Dear Mr. Shaw, thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts with us regarding your idea to give the Opie and Anthony show on XM Channel 202 barista machine. I guess they're called barista machines?
Yeah.
Your feedback is essential to Starbucks' continued growth and progress. Therefore, I documented your comments in order to inform our retail marketing department.
Mm-hmm.
Should you have additional questions or concerns, please call our customer relations department at blah, blah, blah to speak with a representative or email us at... And I don't have the email address for some reason, but there you go.
That's what does that mean?
It means
Is that
nothing.
an answer?
Yeah, it's a form letter, basically.
That's nothing.
It's a form letter. But at least the pests are trying to get us a Starbucks machine, right?
What does that mean? When's the coffee flow?
I don't know.
When does the coffee start flowing?
In Washington, they got like 5 of those things. They're
Yeah.
great. And we have enough people up here. We need one. So
Yeah.
the pests, at this point, we don't even have to tell the pests to do stuff.
No, they know.
They understand the show. They understand what's going on. They understand the battles we're facing. And they take it upon themselves to email ELO, email Starbucks, get a fund together for a damn billboard down in Orlando just to rub it in a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess they got a billboard going up in Dallas in the near future.
They're amazing.
And I think they're working on something for New York.
You know, ELO writes these guys back, too. ELO has, like, relationships with some of these people.
Yeah, I know.
Writes them back. When do you see that happening? He respects the pests. You have to. They might turn on you.
Barbary was in Playboy. Barbary is a big Hollywood whore. Rob in Boston. What's up, Rob?
Hey, what's up, Hey, hello, Jimmy. Hey, you know that Julian Barbary chick you guys were talking about?
Yeah.
I was like sailing you down the river. Apparently, she's like fucked like everybody in Hollywood trying to like further her career and still has gotten nowhere. She's like a huge slut, like at parties and shit. She'll come up and like go leave with one guy, come back and pick up some other like C, D, E-list star.
Nice.
And she's just trying to sweep her way through Hollywood and still getting nowhere.
Really?
Exactly.
All right. Well,
hey, punch it on, guys.
And this guy Ellis from Philly. Ellis, what's up?
Hey, that Jillian Barbary, she was the weather girl on the Fox football shows on Sunday afternoons, and also she was recently married to Ryan Seacrest.
Specken Sie Tag?
Oh, again.
Again. All right, Ellis. Thank you.
I must have nailed him with that one a year ago.
Well, I'm in stall mode because we want to play the actual phone call.
The actual phone call. But it's so filthy, right, that we have to edit it? Is that why?
No.
No? I figured it was so filthy with all the talk of sex, explicit sex.
Well, it is the anniversary of the Sex for Sam thing.
Yeah.
And I actually had to come in here at 6 and tell everyone that we might want to play clips from this.
I had no idea that it was even
the
anniversary. Hey, it's been documented. I don't remember anniversaries very well.
I understand that. That's a big day.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the radio board sites are basically saying our little stunt started changing radio, as everyone knows it.
You see this little blurb? What paper was this in?
Daily News.
Daily News. Morning co-host Goomba Johnny of WKTU here in New York, noting the sex scandal with the St. Patrick's priest, joked that, quote, he should be ashamed of himself. He stole the idea from Opie and Anthony. Very good. Thank you, Goomba Johnny.
Goomba Johnny's always been like a friend of the show.
Yeah, he's what you call a good egg.
Right.
Kind of strange because he's doing a morning show as we do a morning show.
Yeah.
How does that work? I don't get that.
Plenty of room.
Because he does like he's kind of happy and fun on the air, and yet he'd be happy to break your thumbs with his teeth. Like a fucking animal.
He really is. He's a psychopath. All right, I'm going to go into stall mode. We got a Jack Black song here I want to play for everybody.
Uh-huh.
I got to warn all the ladies out there. This song pertains the C word.
Oh, Jesus.
This song pertains the C word.
Don't you have a warning or something for that, Ope?
The song pertains... Yeah, where is that?
Pertains?
Pertains?
Pertains? Pertinence?
Well, what you're saying pertains to the song, but the song contains the C word.
Contains, you're right. It's still early, though.
I know.
Contains.
Contains the C word, you're right. Contains the C word.
Oh, there are several ways to irritate a lady. You could mention that her act's gone out of style. Oh, that's sure to get her miffed. It's bound to cause a tip. But here's a little trick to go the extra mile. Give her just a little kick in the cunt. A kick in the cunt? Ah, kick in the cunt. That's about a nice kick in the cunt. You'll sure have a stunt if you go for the punt with a jolly good kick in the cunt. Now a lady of grace will show utter distaste for a slur or a randy suggestion. But if you call her a whore, it may do nothing more than make a subtle change in her complexion. So give her a kick in the cunt. A kick in the cunt? Ah, kick in the cunt! As about a lovely kick in the cunt, eh? If you aim to annoy, there's no better ploy than a rousing good kick in the cunt. Now you don't want a sucker a club in the choppers, a shocker for making a grab at a knockers, but she'll call the coppers and you'll end in jail where you eat bread and water and shit in a pail. So if you've enough of a womanly guff, no need to be rough, it'll be quite enough to call her bluff with a huff and a puff, just stuff your foot straight into her muff. Just an old-fashioned kick in the cunt. A kick in the cunt, a kick in the cunt. How's about a nice kick in the cunt? You'll sure have a stump when you go for the punt with a jolly good kick in the cunt.
Oh my God! There you have it, Jack Black. We'll be playing that a few times. I like that one a lot. Just ended it ended abruptly as you guys were talking about something. What was that?
A website. Which I know we got to do this first, but there's a fine website that Ant and I sent him. Some listener.
Oh, it's hysterical.
It's the greatest website ever.
Okay. I just ran in here. How was that song?
It was good.
Okay, good.
I didn't like the language, though.
Yeah, it was a little harsh. Yeah.
Well, Eric's getting some of the clips from the famous Sex for Sam show. Anthony, for the first time in 3 years, we get to replay this. This is the actual phone call.
All right, this is the phone call. We got it.
This is it right here.
Here it is. Now, you might have heard the newscasters saying that.
By the way, if you're just tuning
sex
in, I got to let everyone know. It was 3 years ago today we did Sex for Sam and blew up our careers. It was a huge day in the careers of this fine radio program.
Would have been one of those real big parts of our timeline where they would have had to have a picture and a big paragraph of what happened.
Wow.
Very important day. And this is you might have heard the newscasters talking about the broadcast, the actual broadcast, what went out over the air. And some of them said it was a description of pew-rocking sex at St. Pat's, live sex on the air from St. Pat's, a graphic description of a couple having sex at St. Pat's. Well, all that is bullshit. Because the fact of the matter is, there was nothing graphic, nothing that couldn't be said today over regular radio airwaves. And I guess we have it here.
All right, let's go to Paul and the Juicy Lips before we take a break. His team is representing D.C. today, Marshall and Lynn. What's up, Paul?
We're in St. Pat's, and he's doing the balloon knot inside, and the security guy is coming up to us right now.
There you go. That was it. That was it, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. You could let the kids out of the room now. You could let them out of their bedroom, back in the living room to listen in with you once again, because that whole graphic description of sex is over. That was it. That was it.
It was reported so much differently.
How many of these motherfuckers got on the air and said it was pew-rocking sex described live on the airwaves of the Opie and Anthony show?
Just a few feet from where people were praying.
People were praying. That was it. There was nothing more. That was the live description of sex that was carried on our airwaves. Got to hear it again.
This is the reason we had to take 2 years and 3 months off.
Here it is.
All right, let's go to Paul and the Juicy Lips before we take a break. His team is representing D.C. today, Marshall and Lynn. What's up, Paul?
We're in St. Pat's, and he's doing the balloon knot inside, and the security guy is coming up to us right now. All right. Hey, come on, let him go. They're okay there. No, let him go. We were just looking for the restroom. That's all.
Really?
No.
I need the restroom.
What's the problem?
Come to the south side, please.
I just need the restroom. No, they were just looking for the restroom. I thought the door was open.
I'm talking to them.
Oh, I can talk to them.
Yeah. Billy, come to the south side.
All right, listen, we'll just split. All right, we'll go. Who's coming right in? I can't even use the restroom. Listen, you just need to use the restroom. Don't be what are you being so difficult for? Oh my God. He would never. This is a sacrilegious place. He would never do anything like that. This is the Catholic Church.
Hey, listen, you want to be arrested? You'll be quiet, all right?
No, I'm not going to be quiet. I have a right to say whatever I want.
See,
that's what ended it all.
See, in that situation, leave. Paul and the couple should have just walked away. Just walk away.
But that anti-Catholic stuff or whatever, which I know he was only saying in the moment. I mean, I don't think he's anti-Catholic. He was just saying it in the spirit of what was going on. But that was what they grabbed onto. And they'll never say it because it's not illegal, But that is what I guarantee you they grabbed onto, and they said, we are really going to hurt these people for this.
But where was the sex?
And it sounded like he was going to talk his way out of it. It's like they were just using the bathroom. We'll leave.
We'll leave.
And at that point, he should have left. And I think we would have been all right.
Where's the pure rocking sex?
Yeah, where is it? Where's the sex? Oh, they all reported that there was a description of sex. We gave a graphic description of the sex at St. Pat's. Nothing. How much they bullshit the news.
I'm a big fan of getting reporters on the air. I mean, I think we should try to get some. I mean, I don't know if we can do it today, but why not call them out? They're never called out on their bullshit. Why did you play the clip of what they said and then play this? Why did you say that if you hadn't heard the tape?
Chuck from Pittsburgh, if Paul would have kept his smart mouth closed when the security guy came over, you never would have gotten into hot water. He was a smart aleck. Chuck is calling him a smart aleck.
All right, let's continue here.
Hey, listen, you want to be arrested? You'll be quiet, all right? No, I'm not going to be quiet. I have a right to say whatever I want to say. Just because you have a blue jacket on with a patch on doesn't mean you have authority over me. You know that when they give you the walkie-talkie, that doesn't mean to take away my constitutional rights. We're going to go, all right? We can do whatever we want. We walked out. No harm, no foul. Not a problem with priests to the kids, though, is it?
Yeah, that was it. Hello. Sealed our fate right there.
But again, in that, no, there's one more line.
Yeah.
That sealed the fate. But again, that was just in the moment. And as much as, he and I haven't really hit it off since then, I can't blame. I know what he was doing in the moment.
It's like a roller coaster, though. It's like, all right, he's going to get out of this. Uh-oh, shut your mouth. And then once again, he's like, all right, we'll get out of here. But then he has to, give him a parting shot.
Yeah. This is like watching the end of Cuckoo's Nest for me. I can't watch the end of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest because I always say to Nicholson and Chief, when the window is open and Billy kills himself in the other room, just go!
Just leave.
The window is open. Go,
leave.
Randall. Go. This is exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
Just walk out.
But it always ends the same way.
There's a scream, and he has to run in and try to choke Ratchet.
I got a confession to make.
What, Opie?
This is the first time I'm hearing this audio since we did the show. I couldn't listen to this.
I think I've heard it once on a computer somewhere during the break.
In the past 3 years, I saw it there on websites. All I had to do was click.
It's a graphic argument with security. There's no sex, though.
All I had to do was click, but I just couldn't do it for the last 3 years.
No.
Wow. Not a problem with priests to the kids, though, is it?
Yeah, that's
I guess when the doors are closed, it happens on the altar, right? That's what happens. Yeah, it's nothing like meat and potato sex to turn the church around, right? No heterosexual sex freaks everybody out here. I'm a scumbag? Yeah. With the Catholic Church has done the kids for 35 years? How could you be part of that? You're culpable. You should be ashamed of yourself. Their meat and potato sex is what the church needs. Step up. Be counted. And that was a balloon knot, just so you knew.
Balloon knot.
Where's your God now?
Oh, boy, and we're just laughing like idiots.
Yeah.
I knew we were fired.
We were just laughing like idiots.
There were tears through that laughter.
Was there?
Yeah.
Me too.
I knew it was over, Johnny.
Where's your God now? That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's what a 50-year-old police captain will hear and really get upset.
And just in case you're wondering, it was the balloon knot. Oh, boy.
Ouch.
All right, we're moving on. We'll call you back.
All right, Paul. Oh, my God. 27 points, 25 points, a 2-point conversion, and eternal damnation.
We should be allowed to just give him 200 extra points.
Oh, my God. The guy has a sack that is too huge to believe. You cannot. How the hell? Did you hear him?
Yeah, we'll just let that sit.
And you can see how at least we knew something was wrong, so the radio show condemned it immediately.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, right? It's great. Fantastic. Let me give the point count.
We really were fucking Eddie Egger.
We do
man. That was terrible.
It's doing math instead of going,
let's see. 25, 2-point conversion. Yeah, 27 points. Let's keep the game going.
I just want to give them the title at that moment. Not even thinking.
Ben before the show, I got to say. Ben knew it, and I remember him saying it.
Yeah?
Yes, I do.
But he said shouldn't be on the list.
Don't do it. Do not do it.
Don't
do it. I'm telling you, don't. And he was right.
He was
right.
It
hasn't been since.
No, it was the last good decision Ben almost made.
Let's go to Joe on Whackbag. Joe.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, man.
How's it going? Happy birthday, little Jimmy.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was just calling in. I remember the last day you guys were actually on the air. I think it was the following Monday. I remember it might have been what you guys signed off with. Opie said something like, well, we think everything's going to be okay, guys. Yeah, it was a rough weekend, but everything's going to be all right. And then I went and I turned on the radio the next day, and it was Cousin Ed playing the best rock in Philly.
Yikes. Well, he couldn't have said worst weekend. I believe it happened on a Thursday, and our last live broadcast was on a Friday.
They actually let us on the air the next day, which is just amazing.
Yeah, we had Brian Regan on.
We had Brian Regan on, and we couldn't even refer to the event.
Don't mention it.
And that's, by the way, that's why I don't hate Donahue like I thought I would. I much more fault the company for just handling it so horribly and not just seeing what would happen, just panicking like they do in all of radio and just backing out immediately. They're just like cowards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys were on for like 2 more broadcasts. It was like
one.
That Friday and then Monday.
No, trust me, we know.
We know. Dude, it was best of for a week.
Yeah.
Or till the following Thursday, and then it went off.
Okay. All right, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Right. So then that's what happened. And then, of course, we come back from commercials, and we have to get Paul back on the air.
We got to go back to the Juicy Lips. Yes, Paul?
Yeah, the cop just came in. He left. He said if we go back in, he's going to arrest us.
Oh.
They called the cops. And I told him, we weren't doing anything. We were just, observing the Sabbath. I don't know, whatever.
All right.
And they said, you go back in there, you got to retire it.
All right.
And now he's coming back this way.
Hey, Paul, can you go back in and get your poor box money back?
Like I think he was kind of standing there, like just kind of enjoying the moment instead of just hopping into a cab and amscraying. Beat it.
And for years I was pissed that he didn't get out of there, but
I'm still.
They were gonna. No, I'm still angry on many levels, but they were gonna find this couple no matter what.
They would have found them, dude, but an actual arrest there, I think, made it so much more. To have them come in and go to Virginia, it just would have been diluted a little bit.
They could have scrammed.
You got to understand, after Paul did what he did, everyone's on their walkie-talkies. The NYPD has been called, and they're now on their way to St. Pat's Cathedral.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
So they should have got out of there.
But
they hope for the best, but they were just kind of hanging around. And one of the funniest things is how Paul wasn't getting arrested through this whole thing, and he couldn't understand why he wasn't getting arrested. He was, I hate to say it, but he was looking for a lot of attention that day himself.
Hate to say it. I've been saying that for 3 years. That was what my problem with him was. Not that he went into and I've told him this. I mean, it wasn't that he went into the church. It wasn't that he went over the top, because, again, I understood what he was doing. It was the fact that when I started coming on your show and things started going good for me as a comedian, you start selling tickets, and other guys see that and go, wow, this is great. And the voyeur bust for me, that arrest, was a huge moment on Opie and Anthony. Well, then you have this opportunity where you see, like, this is a moment. Sometimes you can sense this is a moment. What am I going to do with it? And this is went into play, and he would never admit that. But I don't care. That went into play, I think.
Yeah.
It was that desire to all of a sudden hit that home run and go, wow, now I'm a major part of this show.
Yeah, he was thinking this would blow him up.
Great press.
Right. He would blow way up.
Yeah.
So you guys are okay? You guys are all right?
Yeah, we're cool. It was a little dicey, but we're cool. They're really cool, man. They blew me away. I thought I had the dead ones. They're insane.
All right.
I'll call in a minute. I got something else going on. I'll call in a minute.
Thank you. There go the Juicy Lips. It looks like they're going to be okay.
It's so weird to hear this.
Way to read it.
Like I said, I haven't heard this in 3 years.
Way to read it.
Still we're not reading it. Okay, good. They're going to be all right.
Everything's fine. Looks great.
Maybe we'll get a little mention in David Hinckley's tiny little radio column,
It looks fine. I think the cops put their hat on them, and they're eating an ice cream cone down at the station. Everything's fine.
Sitting on the hood of the car.
What dopes we are.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just going to be fine, everyone. And then Paul called back.
Right before commercials, we had Paul Mercurio.
Now here we are exploiting it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't heard any of this in 3 years. I had no idea we started playing Cops.
We stink.
The Cops theme.
Right before commercials, we had Paul Mercurio in St. Patrick's Cathedral, Anthony. The St. Patrick's Cathedral. And his couple allegedly did the 2-point conversion.
The 2-pointer. And there was a little altercation between Paul and the guard that was in there. There were some words. And Paul's got a big set of brass balls because he doesn't back down. And now I'm getting reports of police. Paulie.
Yeah, well, listen, officer, I don't understand. If you're going to take us down to the station, then take us down and do the investigation. But we're standing here and you have nothing. You're taking one person's opinion. Yeah, here, I have my money card that has my name on it, and a credit card and a money card. I don't have a picture ID. I take a guy I'm ready to keep that big swell up. And I have to urinate all the time.
He's talking to 6 cops right now. They want to take all 3 to the station.
Yeah, at this point now they got 6 cops, more on the way.
There was plenty of time to leave.
They just converged on the scene.
And then Paul's asking to be taken down to the station house.
Because the cop, according to the call, the cop originally said, if you go back in there, I'm going to arrest you. If he would have just said, no, there was nothing, they had to pee and whatever, and just jump into a cab.
Just be cool about it and go, yeah, whatever.
Jump into a cab. The cops aren't going to chase a cab. What happened? It was a couple out here, they left. You know, they don't want to deal with that shit.
Hell no.
If I pulled up
Paul and the team,
you would see that I'm swollen. We went in there to try and find a restroom. The place that we went up into, I thought that was a restroom. What is he saying that he saw? What is the security guy saying he saw? I've got a TV on.
It's really hard to hear. I can hear it.
What's your relationship? These are friends of mine. You can feel my ischemia. I'm taking him around the city. I'm giving him a tour of the city. We took him into the church, and, what they do in the church is their business. And this guy, he comes up from behind them, and he gets on the walkie-talkie, and suddenly, he's a Lone Ranger, and he calls in the cavalry, and you guys show up, and there's 5 guys in a squad car. And if you're going to take us to the station, take us to the station. If you're going to arrest us, and let's get it over with. But I don't know what the basis is for the arrest.
You can't. I said to him, you were trying to get arrested, and he said, no, I wasn't. I was trying to do compelling radio. That is trying to get arrested.
Yeah.
I know, because I have this weird grasp of English language, and when somebody says arrest us, that means you want to get arrested.
Yeah, you can't challenge the cops to arrest you.
The basis is for the arrest, and I don't think you guys know either, otherwise you'd be arrested by now. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not trying to be a spot off, but bring him over, and if he wants to talk about this, look me in the eye and let him tell me what he thinks he saw. But if you're conducting an investigation and you're about to arrest the 3 of us, don't you think you should talk to us? Right now. Well, it's like, I think it's going, honestly, no disrespect. I think it's going in one ear and out the other. And you've already made your decision. So let's get in the car, it's air conditioned, and let's go. You're entitled to your opinion. Yeah, you know what? Frankly, I am. If I wanted you under arrest, you would be in handcuffs. You would be inside. So I have to make that determination. No.
They haven't decided to arrest him.
Why don't you stop getting yourself all excited and take my advice? Take a breath.
And tell Paul, calm down.
So I can do my job. Well, this is 15 minutes of nonsense. And we left the church when we were told to leave. We walked down the sidewalk. He called that gentleman, and that gentleman came tearing down the sidewalk for us. So it's like you guys are looking to do something with us. We left when we were told to leave. 3 guys escorted us out. On top of it, it's the Catholic Church. How can they be moral about sex? Think about that for a minute. That's what he was saying.
What? He should have just shut his mouth. Oh my God! He's bringing up the fact that it's the Catholic Church to the cop, and
they can't be moral about sex.
Yeah, don't try to explain it to him. Just be courteous, understanding with the cops. Talk to them nicely, and they would have let you leave. That's what happened. Oh, it is painful to listen to.
Church, how can they be moral about sex? Think about that for a minute. That's what he was saying. He was saying that they were having sex in there to us. To our face. So that's not what you said. I'm trying to get your side of the story. I'm side of the story is these people are in there looking at the church. He had to go to the bathroom. He's saying that they were having sex.
There's a show going on outside St. Patrick's Cathedral right now. Should we put him on hold for a second, Andy?
So, is that all right if we just go now?
No, I kind of want to hear that. Okay.
I don't understand what the basis is for detaining us then. someone would like to tell me that, that'd be great. Anytime today.
Jesus. Oh, man.
Now you see why nothing gets done.
All right.
Bad guys standing around trying to figure out what the charges were.
Oh, my God.
All right, hold on. Hold on.
We're doomed. We're doomed.
All right, hold on.
Oh, my God, we're back live here. We're listening to the tape of 3 years ago. Sex for Sam. It's the anniversary today.
And you remember how you asked one time, how did I get to go on Infinity Stations and plug gigs?
Yeah.
Because the guys that listened to the tape really weren't familiar with the show.
Yeah.
So they heard this whole thing, and they didn't hear my voice. That was probably how they allowed it. Because
Not a peep out of little Jimmy.
Yeah, were you in that day?
I certainly was. I
haven't heard you yet.
I'll tell you why. I did a Cleveland a gig for the Cleveland Browns with Bob Kelly the night before.
Yeah.
It was me, Bob Kelly, and LL Cool J. And I flew home that morning. I was on no sleep. I was exhausted because I was coming right off a flight into the studio.
You.
Yeah.
You didn't say a word. It's like he knew.
No, I didn't
It's
know.
like Jimmy knew this was going to happen and let us hang out to dry.
Not at all.
So now it's a complete mess outside St. Pat's Cathedral, and Paul's pretty much wondering why they're being held.
Mm-hmm.
And
begging to be arrested.
Begging to be arrested. I believe he had to take his own cab down to the police station because they didn't arrest him.
They didn't arrest him. He had to drive himself to the station.
He drove himself to the station. Well, he had a cab get him to the station, and then finally the police were like, all right, dude, Jesus.
Yeah,
and
all
they
right.
arrested him down
It's
there.
the first time someone ever said to a cabbie, follow that car, and it was a police car.
Right, exactly. All right, we have a little more here.
Here, let's go back to Paul. The Juicy Lips. Outside St. Patrick's Cathedral.
This guy.
Paul.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So now I got to just be careful because they haven't told me to take my earphone out or anything. I don't want them to know that I'm on the air, but they're just like 5 cops are standing around like debating this at this point. But they kicked us out, and then they came tearing down the sidewalk, and they put us against the wall. In front of Cartier, put our hands against the wall and that whole nonsense and patted us down and everything. And now they brought a sergeant in, and now another guy's showing up in another car.
Oh, you're done.
And they're like the security guy from the church.
Yeah.
You know.
He don't have.
And by the way, the guy I'm with, the guy of the couple is on probation, and he's freaking out. And he's like, I'll tell him we did it, and then we'll just say it's a radio prank. I'm like, no, if you admit it, no.
Yeah.
He's about to collapse.
I like
all the sex and the heat and this. I think he's gonna have a stroke.
I like your take on the whole thing. There's nothing. The guards saw nothing, and there's no crime.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think we'll be okay because if he was going to do something right now, he probably would have. But
Yeah. Evan is saying, Paul, just show them your Emmy.
All right, hold on.
Oh, yeah, good call. Yeah, everything will be fine.
Legal eagles.
Yeah, no, I see. No crime has been committed. That's right. They'll let you go. There's sergeants pulling up. Did you know at that point? I started feeling a little like, uh-oh, they're going to get arrested.
It's kind of weird to listen to this for the first time in 3 years because I swear after we hung up with him the first time, I was thinking we're done.
Yeah, but no, obviously not.
I know, because it sounds a lot different what we're hearing now.
It's, you know what it is? It's that fine line.
I think I had just adrenaline and energy.
Yeah.
After that, so I think I was just kind of going with the radio show still, but deep inside, I'm like, oh man, we are so screwed.
There's a fine line in radio, in talk radio. It's you kind of know that you're going to get in trouble, but the moment is so good for radio, for what you're doing, that you stay in it. And you want to milk it for all it's worth, you know, because you're thinking, hey, this will get press. You know, you're not thinking you're going to get fired. I think I knew we were going to get press about it, especially if they got arrested. And we'd probably catch some flack, but I thought they supported us enough where they wouldn't fire us. But
you got to remember the environment of radio, too, when this went down 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, a show like ours being syndicated to close to 20 cities across America with huge ratings and all the demos we needed to have huge ratings in, making millions and millions of dollars for the company, you just didn't fire a show for that.
No.
For anything. You'd somehow figure out, how to get through it. They fired us. It was the first time that, a show with a lot of ratings was fired in that way.
Yep.
And then after this broadcast and after our firing, radio definitely changed a bit. And they started firing people for doing things that was a lot less worse than this.
And there's actually, now people think this radio show has gotten soft and changed, but we're having this big contest today that, but there's no sex. You have to go to, places in New York wearing an Opie and Anthony hat.
Oh, now. We'd get into big trouble.
You get a picture with your thumbs up somewhere, maybe with a Hard Rock.
Let's say hi to Alan. Alan, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Alan.
Hey, man.
Hey, I hate to backtrack, but what is a balloon knot?
Ah, the balloon knot. That's a term we used to have to use on the air because you couldn't say what it was. Let me see if I could have you guess what it is.
I don't think I could do it.
All right, well, let me help you out. You ever blow up a balloon?
Yeah.
And then you tie the end in a knot?
Mm-hmm.
Now, look at the part that you just blew into. What does that look like?
That helped.
That helped.
We're a little slow out here in West Texas.
That's all right.
Sheep have that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, boys.
You're a new listener to the show, Alan, huh?
Yes, sir.
So you had no idea about this thing?
No.
That's kind of weird. All right.
Trying to spread the virus here in Odessa.
We appreciate
Thank you,
it,
sir.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Yes, the balloon knot is, of course, the asshole. The actual hole part of it.
Let's go to Frankie. Frankie,
like
what's up?
Tied up balloon.
Frankie.
Hey, Frankie.
Frankie.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's up, Frankie?
Nothing. I just listening to the show now. About a year ago on Whackbed, there was some sort of email from Opie saying that you said something to the effect of "we're fucked" before the show went on the air.
No, what? Not conspiracy stuff.
No, it's not a conspiracy.
It was a letter I wrote when?
This letter came out after the show after you guys got fired.
Oh, I guess you were recapping on the message board and said that you said something about "we're fucked" at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Because of
okay.
the church being on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The following day, yeah.
Oh, that all happened the following day?
I believe so. Well, we went on the air the next day, and I said something like, I guess what happened during our intro music or something, you could hear me in the background going, "We're effed."
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I forget now because I haven't heard this audio in a long time now. But yeah, something like that. In the background, you could hear me going, "Oh, we're effed." Something like that.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, bro.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Here's another call from Paul.
Let's go back to Paul.
Hey, listen, I'm going to go with them. Can I go down with them? Can I go with them? Yeah.
Yeah, this is,
Now they're arresting the couple. And there's Paul pleading with the cop to be allowed to go with them. He is trying his best to be arrested.
Because he cares so much about the couple.
Can I go with them? And the cop says, take a cab. Can you hear that in the background? The cop says, take a cab.
Take a cab.
Well, that sounds like the cop's really trying to arrest you. Take a cab and make sure you do.
Let's go back to Paul.
Hey, listen, I'm going to go with them. Can I go down with them? Can I go with them? Yeah. No, can I go in the car with them? Well, if you're going to arrest them, arrest me then. What's the difference? I don't care. This is ridiculous. You don't want to take me because they're afraid to say anything, and you know that you guys are wrong. Go ahead, take me. I don't care. This is ridiculous. You guys got to have something better to do than this. Look at me. I'm 5'8", soaking wet. I'm 150 pounds. I can't do anything. And you're like getting all tough. This is ridiculous.
Oh, man, he's crying.
Officer, can I talk to you for a minute? This guy won't even talk to me now.
What happened, Paul?
They took them in handcuffs and put them in a car. They're taking them to Midtown North.
Oh, no. One of our teams is arrested.
Can I go down with them at least in the car? Can I go in the car with them? All right, well, I'm going to go down. I'm going to take a cab over there to the precinct. And
Why?
Go down there with them.
All right, Paul.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Well, that's the first time one of our teams have ever been arrested. Well, someone send someone down there to get them out of jail.
You can hear in our voices now.
Right there, it was like...
Our voices finally dropped. The adrenaline is...
we're fucked.
It's going another way now, and you could tell.
That was my
this
biggest
is just
complaint.
This is going to get ugly.
Right there. Arrest me.
Boy, if that isn't a guy really trying hard to be arrested...
Not that it wouldn't have been bad otherwise, but that was the direct tie-in to the show, because then they kept saying the producer was arrested with them. It just...
Yeah. Wow, that was brutal.
When we got arrested on the Voyeur bus, you know what I did when the cops came on the bus? I shut my fucking mouth.
That's what you do.
Because it was a real event. It was like everybody shut up. Psycho Mark called from the back of the paddy wagon. He called you guys. I'm like, just fucking hang up, stupid. What are you doing? Fuck the show. We're going to jail.
I remember that, Jimmy. You took your pinch like a man. You kept your mouth shut and you didn't rat.
Let's say hi to Brian. Brian, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, boys?
Hey.
Real quick question. If you could go back and change this and, get the last 2 years back and whatnot and not go to XM, would you do it? Or, at the end of the day, was this actually worth it?
It was. I let those guys answer, but I got to say, corny, but it's the best thing that ever happened. And I know it sounds cliche, but first of all, they would have been fired anyway. I could speak for the boys. There's no way that this fucking radio show would have lasted in that climate.
Yeah, because especially after the Janet Jackson thing.
You guys would have been.
We would have been fucked. I mean, I think at some point we probably would have done something that would have gotten us fired.
Yeah, we were on a runaway train. We just were out of control. We know that. Mm-hmm. And if we survived somehow the Sex for Sam thing, then we would have had to top the Sex for Sam thing.
Yeah, we were on a Can You Top This train ride. There was no winning.
We were doing a Can You Top This type of radio show for 3 or 4 years straight. It started with a little thing, and then the next thing was a little bigger, and then we got the C word on live TV, then the Voyeur bus, then it was just out of control.
So every time we made the news, it had to be bigger than the last time, and
I don't see where we were going to just sit down one day in a back room and go, all right, guys, enough with this out of control type of radio.
Yeah.
We've taken it as far as we can. We just, our mentality back then was, all right, what can we do next?
Yeah.
What can we do next to get our names out there and just shock people and make people cringe,
Yeah.
I
love the show, boys, and I'm spreading the virus for you here in North Carolina. Take care.
Thank you, Brian.
It made me a better comedian, as corny as that is, too, because it forced me just to do material. I did Tough Crowd for 2 years, which forced me to write. I mean, there was just no choice. I mean, that's what you do when you're off and you're ready to shoot yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, so in hindsight, it worked out, but in the time, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
I want to hear the Regan show, part of the show the next day. Like, at least the first break, how we sound, because we knew the jig was up. It was over, Johnny.
Well, we should have had all this prepared before we walked in today. So we'll try to get some of that audio, too, for you, Anthony.
Yeah,
okay?
I'd like to hear, our first break from the show
first
the
break,
next day.
Okay, and also the last break that day would be fun. First break, last break.
Do we say your mom's box?
Oh, hell yeah, we do.
It's the last thing we say.
The last words we said on the live radio program for 2 years and 3 months. It's very painful to listen to.
It is rough.
So, there you have it. You want to take a break?
Yeah, I got a tinkle.
I got a tinkle.
You scared?
On the way. We got new stuff to do today as well, but we're kind of taking a look back because it was 3 years ago today, and it was obviously a big, big, big day for us, our fans, the stupid media, radio in general. Later on in the program, our enemies spoke out.
Yes.
And we're going to play some of their stupid comments. Freaking idiots thinking they know what's going to happen to us. All right? Bastards. And also on the show today, Cal Ripken calling in at 10 a.m.
Wow.
Tony Raimondo is coming in. He's the editor of Sync Magazine. He's always a lot of fun. Also, Chris Fleming. He's a psychic in studio in a little while.
So what?
A psychic.
Is that this guy?
Yeah.
He's the dead famous guy?
Dead famous Ghostly Encounters.
Ghostly Encounters.
It premieres Tuesday, August 16th at 10 p.m. on the Biography channel.
Detects paranormal events beyond the range of 5 senses?
Yeah, we'll see what he's about.
You remember the Chris Angel we had in?
Yeah.
I thought, what kind of show is this going to be? And I watched it. It was good, man. I only watched 10 minutes of it, but I mean, I don't know how much of it's real, how much of it's cameras. I have no idea.
Insane with the meat hooks in his back.
He's a fucking problem. I enjoyed the show.
Mind Freak is a good show.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a really good show, so. All right, why don't we step aside? We'll regroup. We'll continue.
Hi, this is Jay Moore.
Hey, this is Chris Jericho.
This is Bernie Getz.
This is definitely Flavor Flav on your radio.
This is Bill Burr, the redheaded white boy from Chappelle's Show.
This is Lois Griffin from Family Guy.
Hey, this is adult film star and former gubernatorial candidate Mary Carey.
This is Jeffrey Ross.
Hey, this is Terry Jones here of Monty Python. Hey, what up, y'all? This is Tracy Morgan, a.k.a. Brian Fellows.
Hey, this is The Game, Triple H.
This is your big baby girl, Patrice O'Neal. How you, sweetie?
Hey, it's Colin Clancy.
going?
This is Sunset Thomas.
Hey, this is Seth Green.
Hey, this is Rich Voss from Last Comic Standing, Season 1 and Season 3.
Hey, this is Tommy Chong.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy.
Hey, this is Ozzy Osbourne. And you're listening to Opie and Anthony.
So you're smart. You're not dumb, like people think.
Is someone getting the best of you? Is someone getting the best of you? Has someone taken the bait? It's real, the pain you feel. You trust, you must confess. Is someone getting the best of you?
All right, thank you for listening to the Opie and Anthony program on XM Satellite Radio as we rebuild our radio careers. You're listening to the pioneers of satellite radio.
Ooh.
So I guess maybe it was the best thing that ever happened to us. I don't know.
Hey,
Taking a look back today, it was 3 years ago today that we did our Sex for Sam thing that turned out to be an international story, by the way. It was all over the world, reported all over the world in many, many different languaged newspapers.
Yeah. Hey, would you blow me, of course, from Melbourne, Florida.
That's not his real name, Anthony.
Of course it's not, Jimmy. He says, you should have had the psychic on 3 years ago. That's very funny, sir.
You ass.
Rub it in.
Yeah, sure. Very good. All right. Well, we'll have more audio. We're going to get the audio of our show after the fact.
The next day,
The next
yeah.
day, yes. The first break from the next day and the last break from the next day.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that as well. There was something else I wanted to say about this, but blah, blah, blah. I can't think offhand.
Can't think
right now. Russell Crowe to pay hotel employee $11 million for throwing phone at him. Is this true?
Lotto. The guy won Lotto.
Yeah.
You're just sitting down there in the hotel. What, he was at the desk or something?
Yeah.
And Russell Crowe comes down, throws a phone at you. You get a little bruise to the side of your face. $11 million.
For $11 million, I'd let Robert Reed throw the phone at me while he was on the phone with the hospital going, help me, I'm bleeding from the ear and mouth.
Jesus.
Yeah. $11 million. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. It's gone beyond compensation. It's gotten into extortion, because what this is that's this guy's lawyer turning around and telling Russell Crowe's lawyers, hey, you pay this guy money or we're going to make a thing of it. We'll take it to court. You're going to have problems working in the United States again. And they extorted $11 million out of this guy.
I'm trying to find another story, too, which I had, and I'm so annoyed. If you want to make a relative comparison to just how much life sucks. But there's a woman who she was misdiagnosed with breast cancer. She didn't have it, and they chopped off her breast in some type of like a radical quick surgery.
Oh.
She sued $800,000.
That's it.
That's what she got for having a breast accidentally removed. $800,000. $11 million. And she was 85. I mean, so maybe it's a different compensation than would be if you were 20.
Jesus.
But
85 and they cut off the... Well, she has that tit for 85 years?
Yeah, I mean...
I think they were doing her a favor if she was 85 years old.
Yeah.
That thing must have been hanging...
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Sorry, ladies.
Oh, please, you're right. It's fine.
Just...
Even they're going,
No, I guess they figure all that crap out, though.
Figure it out.
How valuable you are, based on your age when some of this stuff happens to you.
Yeah, but that guy gets $11 million. That's nothing. That is completely based on the fact that it's Russell Crowe, who has a lot of money, and this guy wasn't really that injured.
What did he get out of it? Like a bruise or something? To the side of the face?
Bruise to the side of the face. That was it. Which, fine. Give him something. But $11 million for that? Stop it.
I don't blame the guy, though, because if I was on the phone, if I was down there and some douchey actor just came and threw the phone at my face, that's got to make you go, you motherfucker. All you guys who come into this hotel are making this kind of money, and I'm making basically shit except for tips, and you throw a phone at my skull. I mean, that's got to really just make you want to take the guy to the cleaners.
But this just makes other people look at it, and no matter what happens to them, they start suing everybody. The city, and it all trickles down to the taxpayer eventually. So it just, I don't know. I don't see $11 million for a bruise on the face.
I agree.
Loss of life? something like that, sure, 11 million's fine. But something like this, no. I don't see it. Give the guy free movie tickets.
All right.
Give him a copy of Gladiator.
What's Elo doing on TV?
Oh, my God. There's a guy on CNN right now who's just got probably the worst hair. That's got to be a wig.
It has to be a wig.
That's a wig.
Elo's hair used to look like that.
That is a wig.
Until he changed barbers.
But it's on backwards, that wig. That is the worst thing I've ever seen on somebody's head.
And this guy's also wearing the Elo starter suit.
Yeah. Which is like
Elo used to wear suits like that when he first got to XM.
Who is this guy?
This guy is the head of some... He's an editor of a newspaper.
This guy is out appealing his manslaughter conviction, the Klansman for the Mississippi burning.
Yeah.
How the fuck is this guy out of jail and Fat Nick still in jail? How is this guy who killed 3 civil rights workers out of fucking jail while stupid Fat Nick they won't give bail to?
Free Fat Nick.
I'm really sick of this guy sitting in jail.
This, ex-Klansman free on bail.
Holy shit.
They figure he ain't going nowhere. You know, he's in that wheelchair.
There is no consistency in the judicial system in this country.
None at all.
800,000, 11 million.
All right.
Jackson, Mississippi, too.
Good point.
You know, they're a little different down there.
He said he was sorry.
All right, let's take a look at the movies over the weekend, the box office receipts, as they like to say.
I'd like to guess. Can I guess what the number 1 movie was?
Well, yeah, but let's start with, we'll go with 10, because I don't know half these movies. What the hell's going on?
Opie.
You must have plunked a phone line down.
I don't know if I did, though.
Opie's hand was not there.
That was weird. 10th place, The Great Raid.
Yeah, that's an Army movie. That's an Army movie.
Well, it made $3.3 million.
I know what number 1 is. Deuce Bigalow.
Wrong. But who's in The Great Raid?
Don't know who's in that. It kind of looked like a cool movie.
Oh, we don't have the psychic today?
Oh,
see, this
boy.
is why I hate psychics.
Stop. Come
this
on,
is
what
what I
happened?
love.
Why can't we ever have a guest?
Every guest has an excuse why
What's
they can't
the
make our
excuse?
radio program. This is great. Who's
He
that?
foresees a bad segment.
Don't look at number 1, by the way. Chris Fleming is this guy. His show's called Dead Famous. Premieres Tuesday, August 16th at 10 p.m. on the Biography Channel. Why doesn't he call us? He was supposed to come in. He's a psychic. Chris Fleming stuck in Chicago due to the weather last night. But if he's a psychic,
That old gag.
if he's a psychic, shouldn't he? And then he...
I need an earlier flight out. I foresee bad weather.
Right.
Mm.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
He stinks.
He's
If
awful
he's
as a
talking to
psychic.
dead people, you would think he would know that a storm's coming, because
Right.
you could even do some research online.
Yeah. He says he's chit-chatted with dead celebrities. Sightings of legendary figures: James Dean, Lucille Ball, Jim Morrison, Marilyn Monroe. What about Dr. Frank Fields? How about you have a little conversation on what the weather is with that guy?
Oh, God. All right, so The Great Raid, a war movie. 9th place, Must Love Dogs.
Ugh. Chick flick.
Chick flick.
Mm.
Ah.
Yeah, that's an awful
And it's a
movie.
new trend in
Never gonna
Hollywood,
see
by
it.
the way. It's the older woman with the younger guy.
Ooh. Mm.
You know, they're going with that angle again.
Yeah.
Then you got Sky High in 8th place.
Sky High, which one was that?
I don't know. Like
Who's in that?
It's like all the superhero kids going to the same high school. And they have, like, powers, too, like their parents.
Ugh. Not the Incredibles?
It might as well be, yeah.
Mm.
They have parents they have parents. Fuck me.
You screwed it up.
I certainly did.
You didn't get it far enough into it for me to realize you screwed up.
I was going to say they have powers like their parents, which means they put on capes and then they drink and beat their spouses. But, of course, it was a mediocre joke that I fumbled anyway, which makes it an awful joke. Suck.
Kurt Russell's the star in that, I think, right?
Then it's got to be good.
All right, 7th place. Yeah, baby. March of the Penguins.
March of the Penguins is in 7th place.
People still marching to the movies to see March of the Penguins. Let's see. 6th place, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. That movie has made $183 million thus far.
Total bomb.
5th place, Anthony, Deuce Bigalow. I'm sorry.
Deuce Bigalow in 5th place. See, I thought that would have debuted number 1.
How much did it make?
Had to make, what, 20 mil?
It made $9.4 million. $9.4 million.
What a bomb.
But that shows you where Hollywood is if that's 5th place, Deuce Bigalow.
Mm-hmm.
Wedding Crashers.
Oh, still there. On
Another
the
$12 million for the Wedding Crashers. Jimmy, comment?
Jimmy's favorite movie.
I'll see it. I know I'm trashy because I have a weird thing with Owen Wilson, but he is a good actor, and I've actually heard it was funny, so I can't shit on it until I see it. I have to, be fair.
Wayne in Chicago.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Wayne.
I live in Chicago. Beautiful weather last night. No rain, no clouds, just gorgeous night. So
it wasn't the weather that you're taking off in. It's the weather you're landing in, sir.
Oh.
The weather here was atrocious.
Oh, you know what?
It was like friggin' apocalyptic weather we had last night.
You're right.
The thunder and lightning. And then I'm sitting in front of the computer a couple of times, and we have one of those 2-second little blackouts.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there, and all of a sudden the monitor goes, boof, and the speakers go, boof. The subwoofer hits, scares the shit out of you. The lights go out. Frightening. Yeah, bad weather here in New York.
There was a lady on TV that said that it felt like it was raining so hard.
Cats and dogs?
Hold on to your hats, people.
Okay.
It was raining so hard that she felt like she was under Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Wow, Niagara Falls.
It was that bad, she said.
So the rain, pulverized her against rocks? No?
And we all had that experience of walking under Niagara Falls, so we would be able to make that comparison, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who's the other reporter that said it rained so hard she felt like a fly on a toilet seat?
3rd place. This is a huge surprise. The Dukes of Hazzard. I thought this movie would do a little better.
When did that open, though?
Huh?
When did it open? Last week?
Maybe last week, so it's the 2nd weekend?
Yeah.
It's made $57 million to date.
Good. Stupid Keith Robinson bet somebody that it wouldn't make $30 million.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Because there's a Confederate flag on the roof of the car. That's his motivation right there.
Someone once said you never go broke underestimating the stupidity of the American public. Is that what it is, or is it overestimating?
Is that P.T. Barnum?
Yeah, it might have been him. I said someone, like it was just some fucking jerk-off online with Krausers.
Some guy I was talking to downstairs by the elevator.
Well, I'm glad I didn't say I was talking to him.
Once said a penny saved is a penny earned.
Well, a penny's on the dollar.
2nd place, The Skeleton Key with Kate Hudson.
What's that? Oh, that's a horror movie.
Yeah, they said, I don't know, the reviews are awful for the movie.
What's
like
the
scenes
number
aren't
one?
that scary, blah, blah, blah. Number 1, Four Brothers.
Oh, yeah, that looks realistic.
But the preview looked really good in the movie.
Mark Wahlberg.
I like
some black guys.
Huh?
Mark Wahlberg and some black guys.
Yeah, why not?
And they share a mother.
Yeah, why not?
For some reason.
It was an adopted
She
mom.
gets killed.
She gets killed, and
they
gotta
go
figure
try
it out.
Find who killed her.
Yeah, it's like a murder mystery thing.
That sounds good.
With guns and gangs and drugs.
I'll see that one.
Lots of violence.
I'll go see that one.
The preview looked really good. Let's say hi to John in Utah. John, what's up?
Yeah, you guys getting fired actually was the best thing that happened to you. I was a Seattle boy before I moved down to Utah, and I would have never heard of you guys if you hadn't gotten on XM. And you guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And I like toast.
All right, you like
He's
toast.
the likes toast guy.
Let's say hi to the movie reviewer. What's up, movie reviewer?
Hey, I watched Deuce Bigalow this weekend. Funniest movie I've seen. I couldn't tell you when.
You're the guy.
Movie I've seen and couldn't tell you in.
What movie?
Deuce
Deuce
Bigalow.
Bigalow. Mount Gigolo.
All right. Thank you, sir.
He's the guy.
That movie's going to be a complete bomb. All right, here we go. Let's play some more audio. It was 3 years ago today. Sex for Sam. Blew up our careers.
Yeah. 3 years.
And
wow.
radio hasn't been the same since.
Now it seems like it zipped on by. It's taken quite a while during the time, wasn't it?
Every phone call to Bob. We'd be on the road, take a phone call, it would be Bob, and I'd be like, I wonder if this is the good news.
Yeah, there was always, like, phone calls and stuff, and we'd have meetings, and there was always, like, the hope that we were getting back on the air pretty quickly. And then as time went on, and the story faded from the news, and Bob's calls became less frequent as far as, prospects for getting back on the air, you just kind of realize, oh, shit, we're in this for the long haul. We are not getting on the air anytime soon, and just you got to start doing something else.
Thank God you didn't have a 5-year deal.
Oh, my God.
Could have been worse, man.
I guess.
Think they'd have held us to 5?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, it was such a big story that everybody was scrambling to get radio DJs to talk about us. And pretty much most of these guys had no clue what we were about, what we did. No. Most of them never heard our radio show. But they were experts, nonetheless. We start with Sean Hannity, who had Mancow on.
Ugh.
Mancow.
What
one of the biggest hypocrites in the radio business. One of the biggest cocks, hypocrites in the business.
Another lying sack of shit on the air.
Let me make this perfectly clear. I have never talked to Mancow in my life.
Never.
Never. We share the same agent, unfortunately.
That's about as close as it gets. I've never spoken to him, never seen him in person. Never. He's a lying sack of shit.
And after we got fired, he hated us so much in our radio show that he attempted to hire a lot of the guys that worked for us behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So he's another fucking lying sack of shit, hypocrite, dishonest radio douchebag.
Now he's trying to go legit or something.
Yeah.
And he's denouncing all the stuff he did that made him a semi-famous. He's denouncing it as producers came up with it and his PD made him do these things.
Right.
What a cop-out. What a liar. Shut up.
Yeah, because the environment in radio changed so drastically, now he doesn't want to acknowledge all the stuff he did in the past.
Yeah, so he's saying other people came up with it. He was forced to do all the shocking stuff, and now he's trying to turn around and be some kind of a political... I don't even know what he's going for, but it's failing miserably. The guy just doesn't have the credibility or actual intelligence to discuss things like Hannity is a smart guy.
And our stupid company, our ex-company there, they're going to hire him to take over for Howard in a few markets.
Oh, good luck. Have fun. Boy, if that isn't a disaster in the making. Stern fans cannot stand this guy, and he doesn't have the juice to back it up and turn him around. Ain't going to happen.
Infinity, with their awful, and they're so unprepared for Howard leaving. There's nobody really to put in that play. Yep. All they're doing is they might as well just send out serious flyers. They are doing such a shitty job of covering those markets.
All right, so here we go. Without further ado, Hannity talking to Mancow.
And I also want to talk about how far is too far on radio. We have the situation in New York with two guys, Opie and Anthony.
Yeah. We share the same agent. Now, I studied to be a minister. You know this. I studied to be a minister. And I couldn't believe look, it's had a devastating effect on radio. The fact is it's had a devastating effect on adult male radio. It's affected everybody. But on a personal level... what monsters? Sex in a church, my God.
Shock radio, Opie and Anthony. Now, they were very talented. They did very well in New York. And you can't dispute their success.
Yeah, I really can.
I love Sean Hannity because whether you agree or disagree with his show, this guy is a very honest broadcaster.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he was a fan of ours way back then. I had no idea. I thought he became a recent fan of the radio program, but he obviously was listening enough to know that we did a lot more than the shocking stuff, and we were funny and entertaining, and as he said, very talented.
He's a smart guy who backs up what he's saying with research and facts. The guy doesn't just jump like all these other radio people with lines of bullshit that just because they say it, it's got to be true. Like Mancow. Right now, Hannity's going, you can't dispute their success. And he said their success. In New York, they're very successful. Whether he researched our other markets, I don't know. But in Philly, Boston, we were very successful. And now Mancow is going to try to dispute that? That is fact. It is written in Arbitron ratings. It is written in stadiums full of people that came to our appearances and our softball games and stuff. It's fact. And now this asshole Mancow is going to try to dispute it.
Well, you can't dispute their success.
Yeah, I really can.
They weren't talented. They did. I was up against them, and I'm telling you, they had good ratings.
Look, we have the same agent, a guy named Bob Eatman out of L.A. I don't think so. I really don't think so.
But I read their ratings, and I'm telling you, they did well.
Well, okay, great. You know what? Yeah. Hey, the Christians and the Lions sold out every night. That's easy. What they did was easy. Sex in a church is easy and it's evil.
I don't want to get into that.
You brought it up.
All right, but should they be off the
Yes.
radio?
Well, it's a tough call for me because in a free society, we have to have everything, don't we?
And you don't have to listen to Sean Hannity or Mancow Muller.
That's right.
Or Opie and Anthony.
My personal taste, I'm fine with them back under the rock from where they came. But should they have a right to do it in a free society? Yes.
Yeah.
What a douche.
What a complete asshole. Man-cock.
Oh.
So you don't like to be compared with, quote, shock radio hosts?
No, because shock is shock for the sake of shock. It's I'm going to kill a Girl Scout to get attention. I have always... Look.
Of course. Well, that's a great example, you ass. This guy did his share of shock radio. He's going to make believe he never did any shock radio stuff.
He was known as a shock jock. Stop it.
He's going to make believe he didn't stop traffic on a bridge to get a haircut or whatever he did.
Like, that was his big thing. Yeah, he stopped traffic on a bridge.
That's done just to be shocking and get your name in the paper.
That's
you
shocking.
ass.
You had a friggin' stunt guy named Turd on your show.
Ugh.
That went out and did wacky things.
Just shocking
stop
things.
it. No, you fucking idiot.
So you don't like to be compared with, quote, shock radio hosts?
No, because shock is shock for the sake of shock. It's I'm going to kill a Girl Scout to get attention. I have always, man, I'm telling you, look at the TV, look at these happy phonies.
But wait a minute, do you worry when you're attracting men 18 to 34? Yeah. Wait a minute, and you're doing all your sex stuff when you do it on the radio. Are you concerned kids have the ability to listen to Mancow?
I don't do that much. No. Yes, of course I'm concerned. I don't want children to listen. And I tell parents when they tell me, oh, my family listens, I say, you know what? You're a bad parent. There's 100 different radio choices in Chicago. My idea of shock is talking about how Clinton was a rapist, having Juanita Broderick on. That kind of a thing that got me labeled as a shock jock.
Makes my
bullshit
blood boil. Another dishonest guy.
And he's on Hannity, so he's got to say, my idea of being a shock jock, and he's got to bring up something political. Because he's on Hannity.
These guys are just a bunch of opportunists. Obviously, we're going back 3 years, but it pisses us off when we hear this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many times Anthony and I have been called when another shock jock or edgy DJ does something stupid and gets fired? They want us on TV immediately. We've turned every single one of them down.
Yeah.
You're not going to see us going on TV to comment about another radio guy's firing. It's not our gig, man. It's not the thing we do. But these guys, they're desperate for attention. So, Hannity calls and they're, sure, when? Oh, my God, yes, of course I will. Anything to get my face on TV.
Mancow's never gotten over the fact that he can't succeed in New York. He can't fucking do it. It's the #1 radio market. For people out there in Radio Land, if you're in radio, your goal is to get to New York. That's your fucking goal. And he's never been able to do it. He's never been successful. He can't do it. And that's always killed him. And we come out of Boston on fire and get a gig in New York. Huge station, New York City. He's never gotten over that. He is a jealous fucking prick that has never gotten over that. And he's done nothing but envy what we have done. Always will bash us because of that, because of his own failure.
Radio stunts turn bad. The party is over for Opie and Anthony, as we've been discussing. Radio show canceled after that sex stunt in St. Patrick's Cathedral. And now that the plug has been pulled, will we be seeing kinder and gentler shock jocks? Joining us now from Chicago, nationally syndicated radio talk show host Mancow.
The opportunist.
The opportunist is making the rounds.
He was on for a week straight because of us. What a dick.
On a week straight, yeah.
And he says he doesn't do that shocking type of radio. He completely took our Whip 'em Out Wednesday thing and made it his own for a while there in Chicago. Yeah. Didn't you, Mancow? What about that one?
Shocking.
That's pretty shocking to have girls flashing drivers if they have a wow sticker on their car. Did you or did you not take that bit and try to make it your own, you ass?
So, Mancow, was this like a shot across the bow of radio everywhere?
What do you mean by that?
Well, what do you mean by that?
You know, guys all over the country who looked up to Opie and Anthony, are they chastened now?
You know, I don't think anybody looked up to Opie and Anthony. I got to be honest with you. I think it's...
Oh, stop already. Just stop. And when you have to say I got to be honest with you, that means you know what you're saying is full of shit. Just stop. You know, if you study speech or any of that or communications in general, if you have to say to be honest with you, that means you really don't believe the crap you're about to spew.
Here's the deal. I am probably one of the most I don't think I'm successful guys ever. Like I'm not the pat myself on the back, talk myself up guy. I'm mostly the type of guy that kind of sees where I'm at and goes, gee, I hope this lasts long, you know, because I'm such a fucking self-deprecating ass that I am. But even with that mindset, I know we were successful at what we were doing at that time. Abso-fucking-lutely. For Mancow to go on these shows, and the guy doesn't even realize, hold the phone a minute here, man, cunt. You're on shows all week long that are talking about us. If we weren't successful and doing well in the business, the news wouldn't even be covering this fucking story. So stop it. You're lying. It's another one of these guys that are trying to play it off like we were nothing and that. That's just not the case. We were doing very, very well. And that's the only reason you're on these shows talking about it.
Anthony, are they chastened now?
You know, I don't think anybody looked up to Opie and Anthony. I got to be honest with you. I think it's like...
We heard from other shows all the time that they looked up to us. Other shows coming up in the business. We were their influence.
Look at the golden ticket thing you're talking about. How many radio shows are responding to that? A lot.
I got to be honest with you. I think it's like, do other corporate guys look up to the Enron officials? I think these guys were bad eggs. Opie and Acne, not a fan. Didn't like them as people. And I think this is as easy as it gets. And
shocking.
Didn't like them as people. Now, what is that based on, Mancow? The many times we hung out?
Yeah.
Are you bitter because our agent begged us to fly to Chicago to meet with you, and you were going to take us out to this big, huge steak dinner in Chicago?
And we said, no, fuck that guy.
Because you wanted us to, put in the good word with Infinity Broadcasting so you could get in a real radio company? Did that happen or not? Did you not try to set that up with Bob to get us to fly to Chicago for a nice, big steak dinner, a nice powwow where we get to know each other? And then we would go back to New York and we'd go to our bosses and go, I think you guys should hire Mancow on WNEW because they were looking for talk shows. Did you not try to make that happen?
That's a lying,
you lying sack of shit.
Opportunist douchebag.
You don't like us as people. What is that based on? What is that based on? There's not many people listening to this program right now that know what kind of person I am outside this studio. But you know, even though you never met me?
Never.
I think these guys were bad eggs. Opie and Acne, not a fan. Didn't like them as people. And I think this is as easy as it gets. And what scares me is the woman, you got that email, Karen from Michigan, you put that up. Let's get rid of all of them. The fact is, Dan Rather called what I have to say hate radio. They call Bill O'Reilly hate TV. What I do is not shock radio. I have an opinion. It doesn't go along with the liberal media, and so therefore I'm labeled a shock jock. Look, I study to be a minister, John. These people having sex in a church.
What does that even mean?
They're filthy, they're animals, and I don't like being lumped in with them, and frankly, I don't think they should ever be allowed to work again.
Ha ha! Ha ha!
Not
only are we working again, we'll be much bigger than you.
I study to be a minister with your hack fucking radio voice.
I know a lot of people out there are like, dude, chill. It's been 3 years. No, we're not going to chill. Our old company, they wanted us to. We could have got out of our the contract they were holding us to if we signed a little piece of paper that said we will never talk about Sex for Sam and we will never talk about past or current employees of Infinity Broadcasting. It's a fact. And if we did sign this paper, they would let us out of the contract earlier so we could get our radio careers back. Anthony and I said, no fucking way.
Yeah.
This was a big fucking thing that happened to us in our careers and affected our lives. If we have to sit so we get to finally talk about it and rip these guys a new ass that had all these dumb things to say about us, then so be it. We'll wait it out. And then they said, well, if you do sign the paper and then you do start broadcasting somewhere else and you slip and you mention Sex for Sam or you mention Howard Stern, we're going to fine you $100,000 per incident. Guess what? We said no. We'll sit out.
What a tool.
You know, at one time or another, back in my ancient history, there were some fairly bright lines in radio that the FCC had painted. They're not quite so bright anymore, or maybe after this they are.
I mean, look, I guess that whole sex in a church thing I had planned for Monday is done. You know, look, the line is very blurry. I mean, guys have always complained about that. I don't know what your experience was in radio, but the lines are there's a lot of gray area. But one thing I know, I mean, for God's sakes, let's just think about this as a human being. You're in New York City, sex in a church. I mean, the Catholics pretty big group in New York there. Stupid. It's just stupidity.
All right, I'll give him that.
Poor Mancow. He didn't get the laugh there, though.
No.
That's why, you know, when guys talk that fast and they have to, you know, make sure there's no space in between
Oh, with that voice, that hacky voice.
That's usually a person that is very insecure about what they're doing and they don't want to stop because they don't want to see the reaction they're going to get for what they're saying. You understand what I'm saying, Jimmy?
Certainly do.
You know, if you study speech and communications, I mean, you can learn all this stuff. People that have to fill up all the air and leave no spaces are very, very paranoid and worried that they're going to make to be looked the fool for what they say.
I can't wait till Howie's listeners get a shot at this guy. Man, good luck. Good luck, man, cunt. Good luck.
And what kind of blew me away about this deal was, as you know, on Fox and Friends in the last day or so, one of the guys who works here also works on that former show, said they had been told, and they sent these people out to do the stunt, don't go in St. Patrick's. And when they called in, they said, we're at St. Patrick's, and these two guys said, go on in. It just kind of makes you wonder, what were they thinking?
You know what they weren't thinking. And I mean, again, this is the problem with being lumped in with these guys. You know, should we get rid of Rush on the radio? Should we get rid of Sean Hannity? All of these shows are being lumped in, and I just don't think...
What?
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, they're lumping in Rush and Sean Hannity. See, this is what he's trying to do right here. He's trying to put himself in the same category as Rush and Sean Hannity by saying, I don't want to be lumped in with those guys, and they're lumping us all in. Sean Hannity, Rush. No one is mistaking you for Sean Hannity, cock. No one. You don't have what it takes to be an intelligent talk radio host.
He wants to be the next Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity.
He wants to. Sorry, you fucked your credibility up already. It's over, Johnny.
How are those ratings in L.A. there, Mancow?
Ooh, how's that working out for you?
On that tiny little AM station. That's pretty impressive, huh?
All of these shows are being lumped in, and I just don't think it's fair. These guys are dirt bags. I know these guys.
See,
no, you don't.
By the way, and unfortunately, you know, if this does happen, they're going to look at my brothers. But this is a fact. One of my brothers, if he ever sees Mancow, will beat the shit out of him because of what you're about to hear. Will beat the shit out of Mancow. Not the coolest thing to say on a national talk show. I understand that.
I know these guys.
But my brothers were so infuriated by what you're about to hear that one of them, because, I mean, you think I'm whacked? There's a side of me that's whacked. I openly admit it. I have brothers that are way more whacked than me. One of my brothers was looking online for a flight to Chicago just to beat him up because of this statement.
Being lumped in, and I just don't think it's fair. These guys are dirt bags. I know these guys. We have the same agent.
These guys are dirtbags. I know these guys. He's never met us.
We have the same agent.
He's never met us. So he's just flat out lying through his teeth because he has to make up some good stuff for his TV appearance.
I know these guys. We have the same agent. That's the only thing I feel bad about.
How do you know us? Mancow, how do you know us if we've never met? How do you know us?
Know these guys.
How do you know us?
He doesn't. More lying.
I don't want my guy to lose money over these two jag-offs, as we would call them in Chicago. You know, they're bad guys. Say la vie, goodbye. Don't lump everybody in with these idiots.
How do you know we're bad guys, Mancow?
Yeah.
How do you know we're bad guys?
Knows us personally.
The only time you wanted us to meet, we said no. And that's because we didn't get on the phone with you. We said it through Bob. We've never talked to you once in our lives.
He's scorned like a fucking little bitch. Like a little bitch. He's scorned.
Let's back up here a little bit.
Okay.
Everybody has bosses.
Yeah.
And the FCC is the boss of the radio station owner.
Right.
And the owner is the boss of radio station management. So what are managers saying today now that they've seen this can get so ugly?
Here's the thing, and I do want to bring up something very important, and it does relate to your question. I don't believe that we need more government. I mean, all of us have had to deal with the DMV or the post office. It's a disaster. I don't think this is a case of big government. I hope not. I hope there's not a witch hunt, because, you know, who will be next? But I think the people have spoken. I think it's community standards, and the people of New York said enough is enough with these guys. My conversation with my managers, they know I'm never going to have people having sex in a church. I mean, listen to what we're saying. Listen to the fact that we're debating this. Is it so many years of Clinton that we even debate this? They had sex in a church. You're done. You don't deserve to have the tool of radio anymore. Goodbye. See you later, losers. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. So I can't even believe we're debating this.
With that one.
And what are managers saying? To me, they're saying nothing, because they know I would never do something so stupid.
I love hearing this stuff because everyone thought we were done for good.
Again.
Every single one of our fucking enemies. You're not going to hear from those guys again.
That's it. They're done in the business.
Really, now we're going to be bigger than ever. Eventually.
They're done in the
We
business.
understand that. It's growing every day, though. You just watch what happens next. Let's say hi to Wayne in Illinois. Wayne, what's up? Wayne, let's go.
Yes. Hey, I just want to comment on what kind of a douche this guy is. You know, one of his skits was he had somebody shave somebody's ass and turd ate it. I mean, what kind of a hypocrite is that?
Shaved someone's ass and his little sidekick turd ate it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm not a shock jock. What I like doing, I like being compared to Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity. Not a shock jock.
Yeah,
exactly. Hey, shave that guy's ass and then turd, you eat it. Oh, look, turd's eating it. You shut up.
Punching out, guys. Thanks.
Bunch of hypocrites.
Oh, man, I'm disgusted.
That's a funny bit, too. I like the idea.
Shave his ass.
And have a guy eat it. I would really laugh if someone did that. Especially if it was Steve's awful Lebanese ass.
Big furry mess.
Eric in Philly, what's up?
What's up, dude?
Hey.
Hey, happy belated birthday, Jimmy.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, I don't know if you caught the episode, but Cat House on HBO, Manco was on there. He was on with that big fat fuck that owns the place.
Hey, he's my friend. Dennis Hoff is my friend. He's a good egg.
So he went on some show about a whorehouse?
Well, I'm studying to be a minister.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're doing a show that's all about a whorehouse.
Tits and, oh, yeah. He's Mr. Moral America now. Punch it out.
There you go.
Because he's a liar. He's trying to be a chameleon. He's trying to change his colors because of the climate in radio, and he can't do it. He's incapable of doing it because he's stupid. The guy wants to lump himself in with Hannity and Rush. Stop. Just stop it.
Now, there's a time and place for everything, and a couple found out today that St. Patrick's Cathedral ain't the place for sex.
Cops say the couple from Virginia were in the vestibule of the cathedral and were observed performing a sex act. 37-year-old Brian Florence and 35-year-old Loretta Lynn Harper were charged with public lewdness. 42-year-old Paul Mercurio was allegedly recording the act and was on the phone with the Opie and Anthony radio show. He was charged with acting in concert. The stunt didn't sit well with people outside of St. Patrick's Cathedral.
That's crazy. Not in the church. In a church, that's kind of bad. Other public places, whatever you want to do. But a church, that's a little off. I don't know.
Archdiocese spokesman Joseph Zwilling agreed. His only comment was that it was, quote, disgusting.
Yeah.
Terry Sheridan, 10-10 wins at St. Patrick's Cathedral.
10-10 wins.
You know that it would take all week to play all the audio from news broadcasts, and we'd still only be just touching the surface there?
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Made the news in other countries.
Where the only word you recognize, or the only words you recognize, are Opie and Anthony.
There's such a famous cathedral in New York. Well, if you guys picked one to fuck up, and you certainly picked the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
This week, a couple was arrested for having sex in St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York. It's part of a radio contest put on by two local DJs, Opie and Anthony. Hey, they sound wacky. You know, I saw a picture of these two people who bonked, and all I can say is they've got bodies built to f*** on radio. I mean, what's next? Getting a rim job on the Jefferson Memorial?
Yeah.
Wheezy, of course, not George. And, I mean, where do we go from here? Turning tricks on the police scanner? Cunnilingus with semaphore flags? I mean, seriously. What's the world coming to when people are illicitly f***ing in church? That is a privilege reserved solely for priests. No.
There you go.
What's a semaphore flag?
I would assume it's part of the way they communicate on ships with those flags. You know, the different symbols on them. It's because they said on a police scanner, and then the semaphore flags. He's got to throw in some obscure reference every time. Yeah, semaphore flag.
Well, we're having fun today. It's a look back. It was 3 years ago today that we did our Sex for Sam thing, and we're getting into some old business finally. Hope you're enjoying, or at least bearing with us today.
And what gets me more fucking ticked off than the whole St. Pat's thing is listening to that asshole man cow. That lying bag of shit.
He was one of many, though, bro. One of many. I haven't said bro in many years.
Yes, you did.
Peter Jennings.
Peter Jennings.
Not only did you say it, but he killed himself right after.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah, but I don't say it a lot on the radio anymore. Let's say hi to Nick the Brit. Nick, what's up, buddy?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are
Top
you?
of the morning to you.
Yes, and the bottom of the rest of the day to you. All right, first class, underway. Yeah, I was over in
Lifestyles
London.
of the rich and famous.
Yeah, right.
I know.
Actually, that guy, no one's ever heard of him over in England. Who
Really?
the hell is he? Really, yeah. Anyway, I was over in London at the time when this story broke. So you guys made the news headlines there as well.
Really?
Just confirming what Mr. Jim Norton was about to say there. Yeah.
See, that's what would be really fun because, we got hundreds and hundreds of news clips from America, but if we could get some of the ones from London and other countries, how funny would that be with the bad accents and stuff? Well, the accents we're not used to.
Bad accents. Ugly American.
Hey, gentlemen, I haven't got an accent. I've got a voice. I got the accent after I got off the plane.
Yeah, right on.
Right.
Yeah, right. But I've got to tell you, though, when I first started listening to you guys here on XM, my antibodies were quite strong, and I had a tolerance level to start with about 10, 15 minutes, but you've got me. Those antibodies are found. I've got the virus.
Don't call me Dim no more.
Officer, call me.
All right, thank you, Nick.
It's Mitch.
Oh, Mitch?
Ready for love.
Like Jagger.
Then the lyrics change and he's still going, ready for love.
Ready for love.
A pitiful rookful each. The shiny stuff, the ice, the big money.
There was a great instant feedback.
A little child.
Someone's sticking up for Anthony.
Oh?
Well, it's like, it's always Opie and something.
Oh,
Opie
I
and
know.
Dopey. It's like, why does Anthony always get the short end of the stick with the...
It's got to be Opie so you can identify what they're trying to talk about. But then I could get the slam.
Right.
So is my name second.
But nothing rhymes with Anthony either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Schmanthony.
Yeah.
But that really doesn't work very well.
Believe me, if your real name was Fumbell, if it was the Opie and Fumbell show...
We should just change the name of the show so we throw them all off.
Yeah. Oranges and xylophone. So they can't... What?
Can't rhyme anything.
Let's go to Chris in Minnesota. Chris, what's up?
Hey! First of all, I just bought my XM satellite radio, man, and you guys fucking kick ass.
We don't give a shit!
That's right, you don't. Well,
thank you,
anyways,
sir.
those semaphore flags, I was in the Navy myself and used them. They're used for communicating between ships visually. You put them in different positions to spell out different words.
Right.
I had a feeling that was what it was after Anthony said it. But this is what Anthony does, because he doesn't want to embarrass fucking the two other dummies he's in the studio with. He's like humble. He goes, I think what it is that when it could be, it's like, you're not yanking that out of thin air. You're not guessing it's a communication between ships. You know that. But he's a nice guy, and he's like trying to go like, gee whiz, guys, we're all kind of guessing. Here's my stab in the dark.
He gives us the chance to kind of nod along, like, yeah, you know what? I think you're right,
Like
Anthony.
the three of us are kind of coming up with this as a concerted
We're
effort.
all in this together, I think if, help me out, guys, if I'm mistaken, but he knows. And then he gets the nice nod back from us, and we all feel good about ourselves, but we're on to your fucking clever rule.
Because if one of us had said, no, it's not, he would have went, well, you might want to rethink that. It's awful. It's like it's like doing radio with one of your parents. They're just always talking to you like, nah, you're doing good. Two fucking dopes we are.
Makes me feel terrible. And when Anthony goes down that path, Jimmy and I just take a look at each other like, oh, here he goes again.
Yeah,
with more info we have no fucking idea about.
Is that what a semaphore flag is? Good. That's exactly what I would have guessed if you gave me 500. Oh, yeah. Boat communications.
Forget Aristotle. Fuck Socrates. Here comes Professor Anthony.
Oh, is that classic?
Something like...
I think.
But where they communicate.
I think, but help me out, guys, on this.
Yeah, and then we say something like, when they're in the water together. And you go, yeah, that's when the boats are in the water
If you listen really closely, you'll hear Jimmy and I try to be part of that. Like, and, but it's so not believable. Jimmy.
Yep. That's what we contribute. With those fucking, what are they from? Those Sesame Street things? Yep. He comes up with the calculations, and we just yes him to death.
But his math stinks.
But you're right.
Forget.
But it wouldn't have mattered what he said right there. We would have agreed.
If Anthony would have taken his SATs, he would have had like 700 verbal and like 50 in math.
50 math.
Let's go.
I'm just not good in percentages.
Let's go to Staten Island. Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy, good morning, gentlemen.
Jimmy, good
Dennis
morning,
Miller
gentlemen.
is fucking worse because I remember when he did Monday Night Football, and one time he was calling a play, and he said it verbatim. Yep, babe. Look at him just cut through there like the sword of Damocles. You think a fucking inbred watching Monday Night Football is going to understand what the sword of Damocles is?
It was cute in the beginning, and then it got to a point where he just wanted to just get as obscure as humanly possible.
Yep.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. All right, well, we're going to take another break here. As we go to break, remember that phenomenal thing that listener came up with? No one's helping us out in studio today, so, I mean, I can't find it myself, or we'd play it now. Do you have it in there, maybe?
I found another phenomenal clip, too. I was listening to my geezer interview, and there's one in there, too, which we'll have to isolate. Ugh, what a fucking boob I am.
Well, Matt from South Jersey came up with that. I think people have heard it by now.
Yeah.
Matt has picked up on the fact that we all have crutches.
They're called crutches in the business, Opie.
And Jimmy loves to say phenomenal a lot. And now Matt from South Jersey is pointing out the fact that I like to say classic a lot.
Really?
Oh, my God. It's to the point every time I say classic, I go like this.
You wince?
I do I cringe to myself.
Yeah.
Like, another classic. Ugh. So Matt came up with this. Classic. Classic. Classic.
I used to have a crush on Candace Cameron back when I was in 5th grade.
So far, he had his girlfriend on the line, and she had the big orgasm for him, and then he's now hitting on this chick, and his girlfriend's still on hold. This guy's a classic. 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 You guys want to get Francine in here to do the news or what?
That's what she's here for.
Francine's a classic. She's a classic. Classic.
Let's see how this comes out. All right?
They're right there. All right, here we go. I got to break. Oh, this is nice.
This is a story about a man. And he always was so lonely at night. But his voice was rowdy. You could hear it all through this train station. And I'm going to sing this one. This is about Mississippi told Tommy,
let's go while we're young, while we're young, while we're young.
it's late at night, and I got nowhere to go. My money's gone and also all my friends. And the cop says to me, hey, you smell bad, get out of here. And he says, and you know I have an angel. And he said, bad angel, shelter me from the pouring rain.
You have homes.
This is my life. I'm living with so much pain. Shelter me from the pouring rain.
You have homes.
This is my life. I'm living with so much pain. That's just a little piece.
Ah, yes. There's a song you could hear on Ethel, my favorite station on XM. Dandy Warhol, Smoke It. Loving the Ethel. Loving the Ethel. Ethel. I got a text message during the break, Anthony.
Yes?
A location check from Elo. He's down in D.C., and he wants to remind us that golf is alive and well. The PGA channel. Channel...
what channel?
Channel... I'm going to go with Channel 46. I'm totally guessing. It's either 46 or 20...
I couldn't tell
I think it's 46. I'm not positive.
Within
but,
50 channels, one way or the other. What
we had
channel
unbelievable
that's on?
storms that came through, so they had to postpone play at the PGA thing.
Yes, they did.
The PGA tournament, so they picked up coverage this morning at 8. So if you're listening to us live and you're bored with us, we don't care because it's not Arbitron stuff anymore.
No.
Go to the Golf Channel for a while and see who wins the PGA Championship, okay?
Right.
I think it's 46, but I'm not positive.
Golf. About the L.
All right, what else is going on today? We got Tony Raimondo coming in from Sync Magazine. He's always a lot of fun.
You sure he's coming in, or is he canceling too?
He's going to talk about gadgets. He's the editor of Sync Magazine.
America's Gadget Guide, Sync Magazine.
And what the hell are we going to ask Cal Ripken? He's calling in about an hour.
Oh, any questions for Cal?
I only have one so far.
What do you got?
Just going to ask him about something along the lines of how him and Cy Young have the only records I think will remain unbroken forever.
Oh.
Which I firmly believe. Cy Young's will never be broken, and I don't think Ripken's will either.
Could ask him about the steroid controversy. Could ask him about... let me think. What else?
Oh, you know what? Sorry, golf is on 146. Wait, isn't 46 my favorite station, Ethel?
46?
What channel's 46? Is it Ethel?
I don't know.
47 is Squiz,
I have no
right?
idea.
46.
Travis is just shaking his head. No.
What's
You're
46
giving out all
now?
wrong numbers.
All right, let's start with this. Golf is now on, as we speak, if you're listening to us live, on 146.
Uh-huh.
All right, because we have PGA Golf now on XM. 46 is Top Tracks. Thank you, Ben. 47 is Ethel, and 48 is Squiz, I believe. Okay. Oh, man. Way to go, Ope. What about this website you guys were talking about during the break?
One of the listeners sent me a link to my favorite new website. It's called pervertedjustice.com.
Yeah.
Dash in between perverted and justice. Now, what these guys do is they pose as kids, 13-year-old boys, 13-year-old girls. They go into these kids' chat rooms, and they wait for older gentlemen to contact them.
Wait for the predators
to come in and say hello.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they save the entire chat. They try to get the predator to send a photo of himself and his home information, his phone number, and these guys do. And a lot of them are cautious, and they save the entire chat. and they put it on a website with the guy's photo and his home phone number, and they send it to his job. It is fucking great.
And they just hang these guys out, man. And I was tooling through the site last night. Really, really funny how they just nail some of these guys. Sometimes they leave the end of the transcript and they leave open for, I guess, a future venture. And sometimes the jig is up. They say, what are you doing trying to fuck a 13-year-old? And then the person starts backpedaling. Hey, I was just chatting here, flirting. And then they'll say, well, remember when you said, can I stick it in your ass? That's flirting. It's supposed to be a 13-year-old, you fucking pervert. I have your picture, your phone number, your address. It's all going up on this website that we have. We're contacting your boss. And it really, really nails these people.
Can we get somebody in here to get the computer so they can click it on so we can get? I know Eric's busy. He's isolating clips and stuff. Is there somebody that could do that?
One of the funniest things I saw on this site though last night was they have a top 5 sleazes. You could bet on how you could vote on how sleazy each of these guys are, and they have a top 5. But I went to the top 10. And number 7, the guy that came in at number 7.
You don't have it on your computer?
No, I'll pop it up.
All right, go ahead.
The guy that came in at number 7, they have a picture of him, and they're all these bad sitting at their computer because it's a webcam. That's how they get him to send the pictures. It's him sitting there with a serious hat on. Serious doggy logo on the front.
No, are you serious?
He's number 7 out of all of them. And he's wearing a serious hat.
That's some good advertising for your company.
Isn't that great?
That should be the new logo for that company. Serious, when your wife's pussy isn't enough.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, you're kidding me, man!"
Oh, that's funny.
Stop.
That's how he gets little kids in the house. He's like, "Do you want to just pet my hat?"
Pet the hat. I believe he's what's his name?
Oh, let's make sure we get this up on opieandanthony.com because I'm sure this is something that the little doggy company doesn't want out there.
You got number 7. Wow, we must have a lot of listeners.
Yeah, they just jammed up the website.
Second.
Why did you have to say the URL, Anthony?
We announced the
website.
said it.
That's why I know the show's growing, by the way, because in the beginning we would mention websites, and we could still go to them and click on all the links and download huge video files. No problem. Yeah. Now you just mention the damn thing, and we're done. We're done. My computer's jammed over here,
Mine
too.
says unable to connect.
And the people at that
crashed the pervert site.
The people at that site, though, they put a disclaimer: we don't condone harassment, and obviously this show doesn't condone harassment either. But I just think it's great that they do post the information of these people and their photos. And there's a great 6-part news thing there that they did that this Perverted Justice did, where they actually rent a house. The news helped. This is like a time where the media is actually doing their jobs. And, they have these guys come over, and as they show up, they open the door, and there's a fucking reporter with a microphone sticking out and a camera.
And they think they're going to meet a kid.
A 14 or 13-year-old, these guys, they have the whole chat printed out, ready to go. So this old guy will show up, and the reporter goes, "What are you doing here?" And the guy's like, and I wish I had the clip. I sent Ben an email last night. There was one guy who, this fucking guy is my hero, even though he's a pedophile. Because he was so caught. He goes, "I'm just here to spread the word of the Lord."
Oh, no.
And this motherfucker was so busted, he went to his car and started going door to door and handing out Bibles and talking Bible talk. Because he was so caught, he had to act it out. And the camera shows him on another porch trying to spread the word of the Lord to another... I was like, you have to love this guy. He's just so trying to get out of this.
Yes, trying to just snake out of it.
Oh, he was so busted. He's like, "Yes, I'm just here to spread the word of God." They're like, "Well, we have this chat printed out with your picture on it." He's like, "I don't know about that.
I don't know what you're talking about. Praise the Lord." There was a guy, I was reading one of the transcripts last night, and I thought he was talking to a 13-year-old girl. His name was something like Yankee Dad. It was really bad, really bad. And he's talking to what he thinks is a 13-year-old girl and says how he's getting all horny because of the conversation and that he wants to jerk off and would she like to see it. And the camera goes on and there's pictures on the site where you click on him and he's just jacking it.
Oh, they show nudity? I didn't see any of it.
You know what it is? It's you scroll down and there's pictures, but then in the dialogue it'll say link, caution, nudity.
Okay.
And you click on the link and the last one is a money shot. And it goes, here it is, a cum shot for a 13-year-old. And there's all of...
Holy
and
crap.
And it's a picture of him with his cock out. And on the top of the page, a picture of his smiling face, like, hey, looking into the webcam. And now it's all over the Internet.
And what they do is, this site's so cool because they actually have a girl that works for them. Because a lot of these guys think they're slick and they're like, all right, let's talk on the phone first.
Call me.
I mean, that's what I do with, 18-year-olds. But they have a fucking girl, actually, that will call. And I guess she sounds young, so now the guy feels like, all right, well, I really am talking to a young girl.
Uh-huh.
And it's so amazing because, like, they'll read the chat, and in this really weird blue font, like italicized blue font, they editorialize a little bit.
Yeah.
This way you know that was not part of the chat. Like he'll say something like, hey, do they pick on you at home? And then they'll say, wow, this guy's a great groomer. Like, I guess grooming the kid.
Yeah.
Or the one guy's like, hey, I really hope you're for real. And they're like, he really hopes this is a 13-year-old child he's talking.
Yeah.
Oh, this site is fucking ruthless. It's great. I sent an email to them last night saying, with the Opie and Anthony show on the subject heading, saying we'd love to get you on and promote the site. It's a great site because these predators, they're fucking kids. They're total scumbags.
And it's entertaining as hell to go to and read some of
Look
these.
at you trying to produce the radio show. I like that, Jimmy.
I just,
I like your initiative.
These are guys that are just, come on, we're perverts and we fuck with it. But these are guys that just do something that is so savage and they're so against society. They prey on fucking weakness, and they really should just be rounded up and executed. But since you can't do that, you might as well humiliate them publicly.
Well, hopefully we'll get them on the show tomorrow or something.
Yeah, they might not have gotten the email until, who knows, they might be West Coast based, I'm not sure. But
Right.
it was so great to see that news report. We got to get clips of that for later in the show or tomorrow. But they're so funny, some of these clips.
All right, we'll work on that for tomorrow's show. How's that
Yeah,
sound?
I encourage people, pervertedjustice.com, and definitely support these guys, man. This is a great thing they're doing.
Well, they're supporting the website because we can't even do it. We can't do anything with the website right now.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there.
Check it out later if you
Just
want to.
sitting there.
Number 7, wearing his serious doggy hat.
Oh, there
It's
should be
really funny.
XM should have that as their webpage with the dialogue.
Well, we got to get that up on opieandanthony.com.
And you got to put the dialogue. It's hilarious. I'd say it's hilarious, even though it's because I know he wasn't really talking to a kid. I just know it's just funny because you know that this motherfucker is being set up for a bust. That's the way you can look at it. Like, otherwise, you're going to want to throw up when you read it because it's like, this guy's talking to a kid. I mean, what a piece of shit.
Someone's saying that should be a Dee Dee's job to make the phone calls.
Yeah, absolutely.
She'd be perfect with the little kid
Then
voice.
they'll think it's Bobby from Howie Mandel's act in 1988. That's what she sounds like.
Why haven't we had Dee Dee on lately?
I don't know. She called me to do something, too. I forgot.
Well, you're like the new producer of the show, Jimmy. Could you get that done for me?
No, it was unrelated to this show thing. It was actually about doing a gig somewhere.
All right, we got more man cow stuff, Anthony.
Eric is good. He went out there. This kid went to the computer, and he finds stuff. This is the paper I shake. Good job, Hawk.
Eric is working his ass off behind the scenes today.
Juicy young boy's ass.
We'd like to acknowledge when he's just sucking on mayonnaise packets.
Hi,
we should
is
also
this
acknowledge when
Mayo Boy 141.
So we should acknowledge when he's actually working his balls off, which he does on a regular basis.
I bet you all Eric would say if somebody was trying to sexually abuse him online is he'd be too shy and he would just type in yeppers.
Yeppers. New name for whackbag.com.
What are you wearing?
Yeppers.
A little button-down shirt and an 8-year-old's cap.
That's right. A sailor suit, sir. Do you like white stuff on your face? Funny you should say that. I do.
Squeeze it out of packets.
I think he's hit pay dirt, but it's just a 27-year-old. How old are you now? 27-year-old guy dressing like a little boy.
Because Eric's too shy to send his face, so he sends it from the neck down. And the guy's like, "Are you sure you're 9? Or will you be in 2 years?"
Oh my God! Here it is, Anthony.
Oh,
the
there he is.
wannabe pedo tried to solicit Marky, a 13-year-old boy, or so he thought. And there he is, sitting there, giving the webcam his best pose with his Sirius satellite radio hat on.
Serious hat.
Dude, we got to get some of these printed out. We have to get some of these because they're so good. I just it was kind of late last night.
Can we get the top 10 and just have them in the studio?
I would love to.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Top 10 scumbags.
We should get
in America.
maybe get some people in here to read a little bit of them, like the dialogue back and forth. Maybe Big A could play one guy and someone could play the other. Because again, it's a pedophile.
Holy crap! Dude, I'm gonna have to give you
Isn't
two
he
salaries.
producing?
You're producing and doing a fine job on air.
But you got to realize, too, that these are...
That's what we're looking for in a producer, to come up with this shit.
These are adults they're talking to, and that's to me why there's like some kind of comedic value to it, because you just know that this guy, with every filthy question he asks, he might as well just be going with a shovel and tossing dirt back over his shoulder.
Yep. All right, here's the deal. Big A has to play the part of the victim, and I think we should go with... you guys want to go with Paul?
Ooh.
Is that a good combination?
Yeah.
Of
Paul.
the voices that we have at our disposal?
That is good.
All right, let's set that up. We got to get Paul in here with the Big A to read
Paul
some of the,
Field and
to read some
Big
of the
A.
transcripts from what's the website again?
PervertedJustice.com, and there's a dash in between perverted and justice. And thanks, I got to give credit where it's due. Whichever listener out there sent me that link, thank you. It was really great, man.
You know what would work well also is Big A as the perpetrator and someone like Dee Dee with the voice like that. Because he's so creepy.
God damn it, you're right.
With him doing all the, I want to fuck you in the ass.
Yeah, that's good, too. I think it works either way, but you're right.
Well, how about Steve as a perpetrator? I just wanted to know, will you pull your pants down so I could put my cock in your ass?
Actually, you know what? If Martini Steve will play one of the roles, I think that would work.
If Martini
yes,
Steve,
he will.
I think Steve sees mortgage payment and understands what happens is you're booted, motherfucker. Ramon, get me the puppy and drugs.
Because it'll be great because Steve will just be so annoyed trying to do the bit. All right, so it's Martini Steve and Big A.
And
later this week, reading from these transcripts.
PervertedJustice.com.
Okay.
And also Dee Dee.
All right, here we go. So you pointed something out, backing up a little bit. Mancow, had to talk about us. It was 3 years ago today. We did the Sex for Sam thing, blew up our radio careers. We had to sit out 2 years and 3 months.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the satellite radio companies came a call in, and we chose XM Satellite Radio over the little doggy company, and we couldn't be happier.
Right.
And we're going to be bigger than ever eventually. We know that now. So Mancow was on all these TV shows saying we're done, blah, blah, blah. And you pointed out something during the break here, Jimmy.
Yeah, it seemed like in the one, and I noticed there's only one hearing them back to back, but in the one clip with Hannity kind of pinned him and said, well, what about, should they be allowed to do this? And he's going, yes, in a free society, yes, they should. And then it seems like in the next clip, he's like, they should never work. It was just an odd inconsistency to hear when you hit back to back.
Inconsistent, Mancow?
Should they be off the radio?
Well, it's a tough call for me because in a free society, we have to have everything, don't we? But should they have a right to do it in a free society? Yes.
Yeah. All right. And then?
These people having sex in a church, they're filthy, they're animals, and I don't like being lumped in with them, and frankly, I don't think they should ever be allowed to work again.
Free society should be able to never work again. What?
Having sex in a church, you're done. You don't deserve to have the tool of radio anymore. Goodbye.
What happened to the thing about free society?
I was studying to be a minister. What happened there? He didn't finish? What happened with his studies?
I don't know.
What a dickbag.
And he's trying to claim that he's not a shock jock and he never did shock.
No, I'm not a shock jock. I don't like being lumped into that. What I find shocking and why I get pegged as being a shock jock is because I bring up Bill Clinton. Oh, Bill Clinton, that's what made you a shock jock. That's what gave you the label.
It wasn't this?
Thank you for calling the Information Center. This is Cindy. May I help you?
How you doing, Cindy?
Just fine.
This is a tampon hotline?
Yes.
Okay, because I got a problem here. My wife, we got a little bit of a problem with one of these tampons. Can you help me?
I can.
I can't get the cotton out of my teeth.
What an ass.
Not only trying to do the shock jock thing,
Fake.
also doing a fake, phony fucking phone
Fake.
call. That was some of the worst acting I've ever heard.
What an ass.
He doesn't do shocking stuff, huh?
Hello?
Yeah, Miss Hand?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you the woman offering the job?
No.
And the man told me to call you.
Call me for what?
Something about a job.
No, this must be the wrong Mrs. Hand. This is the Hand's residence.
Yeah, I've been looking for a hand job.
Yeah. No, there's nothing available.
This isn't the place to call for hand jobs?
No.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You don't lump me in with Hannity.
You will fly with me and live here.
And since you cannot remember your name, I will call you Bird Boy.
There you go.
Yeah.
A couple examples of him doing shock stuff.
Tampon in the mouth, hand job. Yeah. Yeah, you're right up there with Limbaugh.
Yeah, because that's exactly what Sean Hannity does on his show. And Rush Limbaugh does.
Yeah. Welcome to the Excellence in Broadcast Radio. Is this the hand residence?
Shut up. Right.
What an ass.
Wait, let me get you the music amp just for a second here, because it's just so much fun to hear the music. There we go.
Welcome back to the Rush Limbaugh program. Excellence in Broadcasting. Is this the hand residence? I am looking for a hand job. Please don't lump me in with the likes of Opie and Anthony. The most shocking thing I ever say is Bill Clinton is a rapist. Now that I'm through with that, hello, bowling alley, do you have 10-pound balls? How do you walk? Please continue listening to the Rush Limbaugh program on these stations that you listen to every day. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? Well, you best let him out. He's suffocating. What a dickbag. Man ass.
Too good. Well, everyone got to talk about us 3 years ago today. Got somebody else here that had a comment about our Sex for Sam thing and our demise.
People want me to comment on the firing of Opie and Anthony.
By the way,
Opie and Anthony, here he comes.
Look, we'll never deny his success and his talent.
Well, you can't.
I don't think it's the same show as it was. I don't think it's as anywhere near how good it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny part is, like, we went at it for years. Like 2 or 3 years, and the guy refused to mention our names, right?
Yep.
Now that we couldn't defend ourselves and we were, just at our houses and had no forum, no radio show, we weren't going to go on TV. Now he was brave enough to mention our names for the first time.
Yeah, there it was. Because we were out of the mix now.
Right.
So.
Boy, real brave, Howard. What about all those times we just made you look silly on our show when we were doing afternoons for the same company?
And to have us shut up or fire us.
Right. When we made fun of your daughter, you didn't have the balls to say our names, did you? But as soon as we were off the air and we couldn't defend ourselves, then it was easy to say our names, right?
People want me to comment on the firing of Opie and Anthony. Personally, I'd rather not talk about it, but I will since everybody's asking me what my feeling on it. And
oh, this was a very happy day for Howard and the crew, by the way.
Oh, for everybody
very
in radio.
Happy day. Extremely happy day. They were waiting for this day to happen.
Yeah.
And it happened.
I'll talk about it. But I'll save that for later. People also...
Is it a real fire?
Is it a real firing or a radio firing? I don't know anymore. I can't wait to get out of radio. That's all I'll tell you about it. I just can't wait to get out. I got 3 years left and I'm gone.
He's got 3 years and he's gone. So this happened 3 years ago.
Well,
so
look at that.
I guess he's leaving broadcasting, isn't he? I guess he's leaving it. Shut up.
And I'm gone, and I can't wait. I'm sitting there. It's so funny with the cloning of the Howard Stern show and how many Howard. I mean, the whole radio dial basically sounds like Howard Stern.
Tell him, Fred.
Go to 1010 Wins or any news station. It sounds like Howard. Go to anywhere. Go to a rock station. It's Howard. Across the dial, everywhere. Just Howard Stern clones is all you're gonna get, Robin. That's right, Howard. Oh, shut up.
Shut up.
Oh, my God. He has just been doing this forever. Enough already. We get it.
Hoo-hoo, Robin. Hoo-hoo, Robin. Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, Robin. Robin. Hoo-hoo, Robin. Right, Robin? Tell him, Fred. Tell him, Fred. I invented everything. Put a bandana on your car. Sirius sucks ass.
And I thought those guys had the cushiest job in radio because they got handed every one of my radio stations that I syndicated and worked so hard for.
Oh, yeah, and they just handed it to somebody for the hell of it, right, Howard? You fucking asshole. They just what? They threw all their names in a hat and said, well, we'll pick out a name, and
that's it.
And that show gets to be syndicated where Howard's syndicated.
That's what they did.
And within a week, Mel just gave them every goddamn station on the dial.
Why don't you tell your listeners why Mel gave us all those stations, Howard? Why don't you tell them the real story? Why don't you tell them that Mel got word that we were going across the street to Clear Channel, to Q104.
To do mornings.
To do mornings right up against you, head-to-head for once, finally.
Finally.
The big radio battle that everyone wanted to see at the time. Why don't you tell them?
Because we were doing
afternoons. Why don't you be honest
afternoons.
with your listeners, Howard?
We were doing afternoons, so people were listening to Howard in the morning and us in the afternoon. We split a lot of the audience, is what happened. And we were going to be pretty much the first show going head-to-head with Howard with a proven audience already in the market. It's very hard to come swooping into a market, especially New York, out of nowhere, do mornings, and beat Howard. It wasn't going to happen. But we had been there for years already cultivating an audience, the same audience he had. A lot of people, it was the same. It was a crossover audience. So they were shitting their pants knowing that we were going to go to morning.
I remember our contract was ending, and Ken Stevens came to us, and he showed us the new number for the new contract, and Anthony and I are like, what? And Ken's like, look, this is our final offer. This is the best we could do for you guys.
Final offer.
And this was after just bringing in huge ratings, huge, for Afternoon Drive in New York, okay? So we're like, all right. So within a day or two, our agent, super agent Bob Eatman, had a massive offer from Clear Channel to go do mornings.
Yep.
A massive offer to do mornings in New York City right up against Howard. Not only that, we'd be syndicated to a bunch of Howard's markets.
Yep.
Guess what Infinity did? They came back and offered us, I'm embarrassed to say it, but I'll say it, about 10 times more. 10 times more.
Yeah.
The offer went up about 10 times.
We
Because they were
had 'em.
shitting a brick that we were going to go up against Howard. And then Howard finally gets a chance to talk about it and is like, oh, Mel just handed them the markets.
Yep.
Howard had his hand in that whole deal.
That's what they did.
And in the end, a lot of people go, why didn't you go to Clear Channel? They just didn't have their shit together, to be honest with you.
No.
So, you know, we got what we wanted to continue an Afternoon Drive where we had a huge loyal audience, and we got to spread, like we like to call it, spread the virus to many other cities across America. So to us, it was a win.
Gave them every goddamn station on the dial, and they had afternoons. It was a cush job, and they blew it and deservedly got fired because, even I know, as whacked out as I am, I know I can't encourage people to do something illegal. If once I do that, I'm gone.
There's been a whole lapse in judgment because they had sponsors.
Listen to the whole, by the way. Ugh. This is my favorite part now. You get to hear the whole contribute absolutely nothing
the whole
to a very deep discussion.
Lapse in judgment because they had sponsors for this illegal activity.
Yeah.
It was approved by the station.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but all of a sudden, but you know,
that's all she had. That's all she had. Facts that anyone could read in a stupid newspaper.
You know, all of a sudden, then it wasn't approved by the station. So, you know.
How could you have sponsors if the station wasn't approved?
Something illegal sponsored by Pepsi.
I forget the sponsor, but they had to take out it was Samuel Adams.
Sam Adams Beer, one of our sponsors.
That's right. They had an ad in a paper up in Boston. Apologize.
Yeah,
apologize.
Jesus. She's actually saying what you guys would have said, which is this was a sponsored event and
sponsored.
The station knew.
And the station knew about it, so where's the problem with us?
Yeah, why are you guys getting it all thrown at you when the company knew, obviously, and the station knew and approved it?
Mm-hmm.
What kills me about all these guys is that none of them have a good word to say about me.
Mm.
They all grew up listening to me.
I did.
They all took the act.
They all took the act, and then they want to get on the air and badmouth me and talk about.
That's part of the act.
Yeah, and talk about because that's what you do. That's what I did with Imus. So you got to, you know what I mean? It's part of the whole act.
That's right. You got to hate everybody.
How about the fact that
everybody, Howard?
We're not stupid. I grew up listening to Howard, of course. I grew up on Long Island in New York. Of course you grew up listening to Howard. The respect was absolutely there doing radio, especially coming into New York. like I said before,
he likes to ignore that part of it because when we were doing afternoon drive, we did give him his boss, but then we started calling.
Of course.
Then we started calling him out on all his ridiculous things that he
hypocrisy.
did.
Hypocrisy. You come into New York, especially listening to Howard growing up and then getting into radio. You knew you didn't come into his city and badmouth him. It was counterproductive. His fans aren't going to give a shit who you are. You don't come swooping in and badmouth the guy. And before we knew him personally, well, not personally because I don't want to sound like man douche. I sat down and talked to Howard Stern, but there have been a lot of things that happened where he went to Mel Karmazin and other Infinity executives and had us shut down. Had us to shut up about certain things. And that stuff, that hypocrisy had to be pointed out. And that's what we pointed out. And the way he responded to it, that's why we started bad-mouthing him. When we first came into New York, we had nothing but good things to say about the guy. What were you going to say bad? The guy did great things in radio.
Plus
How are you going to badmouth
we were working for the same company, so we acknowledged what he did in radio.
And he never did anything to us, so fuck it.
And then we started doing our own thing, and he didn't like the fact that we were building an audience.
Yeah.
Right in his backyard with the same company, getting a big-time buzz.
So it wasn't like we just came in and badmouthed Howard for the sake of badmouthing because he badmouthed Imus. No, you gave us a reason to badmouth you because you were being a dick.
And you cried to the bosses.
You were worse than the way he portrays Imus in Private Parts. He's 10 times worse than Imus ever was to him. Ever. Stop.
Well, loser of the week during the Opie and Anthony firing had to be Jay Moore, comedian, who used to, as you reminded me, used to stand on line to get in the door here to try to be on my show.
Yeah, he used to hang around hoping we'd notice him.
But those guys put him on, so then all of a sudden he's giving interviews how bad I suck, and when he turns on the E! Show, all he sees is naked women. But those guys got fired for naked women.
Having sex in St. Patrick's Cathedral.
It's like, I said, it's like literally Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. What? I'm just too busy listening to The Hole. She has absolutely nothing.
What was he getting at, though? Attack of the Clones.
Well, we're all clones of him.
But what was he getting at? Like, how were we clones? Sex in St. Pat's, naked women on E! I don't know what he's saying. I don't know.
He's trying to claim that no one did naked women on the radio before him, and it's just not true.
No one did anything.
Oh, that's right. I forgot, Anthony.
No one did anything.
Well, what killed me was Opie and Anthony were working for this company, and they came here, their whole act was bad-mouthing me, and I went, wait a second, aren't you the two guys who came down here for the Jackie Martling song parody contest when and aren't you kind of the same age as me? They were like 42. Yeah. So it took you 40 years to figure out the image?
I mean, I don't even have to explain that. We prove over and over again that he just lies through his teeth. 42. The fact is we're about 10 years younger than him.
Jesus.
I don't know his exact age. I don't know what age he's using these days. So, no, I'm serious.
So it took you 40 years to figure out to imitate me? I mean, so anyway, so they got fired, and someone said to me, well, what do you think of the fire? And I go, what's the difference? They're just going to replace those guys with more clones.
More in the wings. Just
who cares?
Come on,
I just think they blew it. They had a good deal going. And no one will hire them now. Why? Because bad judgment. Dude, don't encourage. All you had to do is not being illegal.
No one will hire us, huh?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Really?
But it really doesn't impact me because, what am I going to tell you? I'm just dying to basically get off the air myself.
Remember, kids, this is 3 years ago.
Unless it's, $500 million.
Right.
Then I'm...
This guy doesn't have the desire to do radio anymore. He didn't have the desire 3 years ago.
The air myself. The company hires anyone who sounds like me. Mm-hmm. I think that all of these guys...
They don't sound like you. They bring them here and they say, please sound like him.
And all of the guys, I think, suffer from little man complex. What I mean is, for now, until the time I leave radio, I will be the guy. I'm the guy who started it all. I've done it all. There are guys who imitate me from 20 years ago. There are guys who imitate me from 10 years ago. There are guys who imitate me how I sound now. I mean, it's just mind-blowing.
Who would imitate him now? Who's that lame show? Like, why wouldn't you imitate him when he was good?
And who's going to be imitating who, by the way?
Yeah. Who, Robin?
I believe you're following us now, Howard. By the time you get on the Little Doggy Company, we've been doing this for over a year.
Yeah.
So who's following who now? Are you really the pioneer of satellite radio, Howard?
And what was in the trades the other day about us being the downloadable show?
Oh, Audible.com.
Audible.com. And then it was mentioned in one of the trades, and it said, it will Stern follow? Yeah. It said, Opie and Anthony available on Audible.com for download. Will Stern follow? But he'll have invented that, too. As long as he says it, it's got to be true.
The tides are changing. Now he's following us. It's a fact. An absolute fact.
We're a year into satellite radio already. He hasn't been on it yet. Who's starting this? Who's the first high-profile jock show? Stop it.
And now you can download our show. So you hear a show that's particularly good and you want it, and you want it for your iPod or whatever you're using to download your stuff. There you go. For a slight price, you could get entire shows. In early June, XM Satellite Radio and Audible.com, the Internet's leading premium spoken audio source, announced a multifaceted strategic relationship, part of which include XM content being delivered through the Audible website. That agreement has come to fruition with Opie and Anthony and the Bob Edwards Show.
You mean people
Stop
can download
mentioning us
Bob
with
Edwards?
Bob Edwards. Now available at Audible.com.
Oh, my God. I just looked up. Regis is playing drums with Tommy Lee.
And so,
what a douche.
Single episodes are available for $2.95, or there are monthly and annual subscription rate options. In related news, is Sirius Satellite Radio looking to do something similar with Howard Stern once he arrives?
Do you need a prescription to download the Bob Edwards Show? Is that what it is, like Vicodin or something?
We just
you
pound
can't just
the
be
guy.
allowed to download that and put it on an iPod. You might be driving.
We just pound the guy over and over again, and the fact is the guy has never done anything to us.
Nosferatu.
Every time he sees us, he's very nice and
of course
waves,
he is.
And then goes smokes his cigarettes. That chain-smoking ghoul.
Oh, Jesus. He casts no reflection, and you have to invite him in your house.
His lungs must look like a dump in Rio.
And I'll always be the guy. And if you've ever gone to the gym to work out and you see a little tiny guy who's all pumped up,
right.
They've got
muscles are way too big.
His muscles are way too big because he's got to prove something.
Got a complex.
Most of these guys will self-destruct, especially if they can't talk about me. You know what I mean? It's just very frustrating.
If they can't talk about me.
It's all about
him
to everybody.
See, he was so brave. You know, he could talk about all these guys that were bothering him, and he made sure these guys couldn't talk back.
And that's kind of like a weird slip.
The problem there is, Anthony and I, in general, don't listen to people, but in this case, we had to listen, or we wouldn't have a show. And then, what are we really proving?
But then they started to threaten Ken, like, all right, you guys can say what you want, but then Ken's going to get the axe if he can't control you.
Yeah,
so
now you're going to get your boss fired if you guys chime in.
Yeah, so he gets everyone to shut up as far as talking about him, but then he's allowed to go on the air and talk about whoever he wants.
Yep.
And that was supposed to make sense.
That's how it worked.
But they were just so scared of Howard. That's what they
At least Imus never ran to the boss and made you shut up, Howard. Imus was able to take it. The guy could dish it out and take it. You, on the other hand, you dish it out your whole career, and then the second somebody tries to give it back to you in an effective way, you run to Mel Karmazin, your daddy. You run to daddy and start crying.
As far as those two guys go, I resented the fact that there was not a nice word coming from the camp. I think that I had set up syndication. I think I'd set up a lot of nice opportunities.
What? You did not. They gave us syndication because they were scared that we were going to go up against you, you lying fuck.
Wow. These people just...
It's amazing what these guys could do on the air, and their listeners have to believe it as fact because they're being told it by their hero. Let me say it again. The reason we were syndicated to all those cities was because the company was scared we were going to Q104 here in New York to do mornings. End of story.
I think I'd set up a lot of nice opportunities within the company, and it really was unnecessary to sit there and go through the Howard Stern clone attack of Howard Stern. You know what I mean? It's that bit irritating.
And they robbed you blind, those guys. They did everything that you do. You know?
Everybody robs me blind.
Everybody robs me blind.
That's your buddy, right?
Who?
Yeah.
Who was that?
That sounded like Gary.
Huh? No, I think.
Sounded like his
I don't mean
fag
to say
hairdresser.
that. Actually, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Who do you think it was, Artie?
And go through the Howard Stern clone attack of Howard Stern. You know what I mean? It's that bit irritating.
And they robbed you blind, those guys. They did everything that you do. You know?
Everybody robs me blind.
I ain't leaving?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
It might have been John.
You know what? That might have been John.
Kind of sounded like him.
All right.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't leaving.
Sorry about that.
It's fine.
I want to go out with some grace. I don't want to be Imus. I don't want to get too old and be mumbling into the goddamn microphone like some kind of freak from my ranch. If I get a ranch, I won't ask the listeners to pay for it.
Yeah, I'll buy my own ranch, thank you.
None of you are young men.
Hank is old at this point, so just get off it.
Because the guys who got fired were busy calling me old when they got here. And I'm reading the paper. Greg Cumia, come on you.
Oh, the come
wow,
on you joke.
That's really funny.
Oh, the come you joke.
I get you're gonna take my first name and Anthony's last name.
Oh, my name again with the last name.
You might want to rehire Jackie to write for you again. She's not doing a good job on your own. If that's the best you could come up with.
Greg Kamanya is 42, and I'm going, wait a second. How are you a young upstart?
Who's Greg Cumia?
That's Opie.
Oh.
I never bothered to learn their names. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, I learned it. It was all over the newspaper. Greg Kamanya.
No,
Kamaya.
Forever.
Oh, by the way, I saw a picture of those guys.
Greg Kamanya.
They better stay in radio.
Oh, my. Holy crap.
I was going to move to Major Motion Pictures.
Right.
But I got to listen to Artie.
Well, I gotta stay where I'm at. Oh, my God. Lying about our ages. Best they could come up with.
Oh, my goodness.
Names.
What happened?
So, I have nothing. I had nothing against them. I had nothing. I tried not to give it a second thought. I'm completely irritated by the whole state of radio.
Howard.
Depressing to me. But that's it. That's my. I mean, I don't know what to say. What can I say? Is I know that when listen, if I got on the air and I said to you today's kidnapping day, and you do it, I'm responsible.
You win.
Yeah, you win.
It's inciting a riot.
And that's what happens. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, that hole. She has nothing.
She made some good points, though. She made some salient points.
Yeah.
Because he said something and she went, yeah, and then laughed.
It was 3 years ago today. That's why we're taking a look back. Our enemies got involved. Everyone had fun at our expense 3 years ago.
This is a little late, but Eric Logan checking in. Just a reminder, pedophile-free programming alive and well on XM Kids, channel 116.
Well, they're actually giving the pedophiles their own channel.
Oh, really?
That's the new thing, to honor the Canadian excursion. But it has to be Canadian pedophiles.
That's where all the pedophiles go. Canada.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Speaking of that whole Robin, you know how we talk about the woman that just ruins every radio show?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
We had Moya.
No.
You hear it in the Howard clips where she has absolutely nothing to add of substance except stuff that you could read in a paper.
Yeah.
Well, someone, I guess this is Sassy, came up with this bit isolating the typical female on a radio show.
Right.
Just isolating what a female would be saying as the guys are doing all the heavy lifting. Guys doing heavy lifting, trying to get edgy, talking openly, and there's always that woman in studio to keep everyone under control. The mother figure.
The balance, of course.
To get the ladies listening.
Right. This is everything that the PDs that know nothing about broadcasting think is the way to go. You got to have a room full of guys? No, you got to put a girl in there, a woman in there to keep you all in check. Why?
When you're hanging with your friends and you're laughing, how many times does the chick come in and fucking contribute?
Just wreck it.
All they do is their energy is just not funny. It stinks. It's just completely nurturing and dull.
I've heard it before.
And when you hear the woman, in the mix, it sounds like she's part of the show. But if you actually isolate what they're doing, you realize they have nothing to add. There's
Absolutely nothing
to
there.
add. So this person, Sassy, came up with this bit. It would be just a woman isolated as the guys are doing the heavy lifting on a radio show.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, I was just about to yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Uh-huh. Ooh. You know, Marilyn Monroe was a size 14. Uh-huh. Now, hold on. You're going to get us all in trouble. Well, you get your mind out of the gutter.
That's perfect.
No, that's not right. You guys have to stop. Boys will be boys. Oh, please. Women only do that in porno movies. You know, you're right. Yes. Uh-huh.
This is very accurate, by the way. Great.
Yeah. Oh, wait. No, come on. That's too mean. Come on, stop. Guys, I can't take this. I gotta say, you gotta stop. Hey, I have a good sense of humor and all, but I just don't think it's funny to make fun of the mentally challenged. Ew, what's so funny about flatulence anyway? Oh, come on. I swear, you guys have such a one-track mind.
Perfect.
Yeah, well, you may think it's funny, but I just have to draw the line. I mean, some things should just not be talked about and aren't funny. You're going to hurt somebody's feelings, and I don't think that's the right thing to do. Stop it. No, it's not funny. Oh, I'll tell you what the problem with those magazines is. Real women do not look like that. Yeah, well, if I had a trainer and I had somebody doing my hair and makeup all day, I would look like a supermodel too, you know? Come on, stop drooling. You know, if I was a man, I would choose Hillary Clinton over Pamela Anderson any day of the week. I think a real man likes a strong, powerful, intelligent woman. Wait. How do you know God was a man? Yeah, right. Oh, please. Of course. Well, they didn't know that. I knew it. That's what... Yes, of course. Naturally. I know. I swear, you're all just like little boys. When are you just going to grow up already? Yeah, well, if that were me, I would just have to pull a Lorena Bobbitt.
Bravo.
Perfect.
How good is that?
Perfect.
Useless meat slot.
How good is that?
Just that little, just keep everybody in line.
Yeah.
Just the voice of reason.
Oh.
Representing the ladies out there.
Stop now.
Is that how ladies want to be represented? Tee-hee, that's me, the unfunny cockblocker. Is that really representative of most of you?
All right. We got to take a quick break. On the way, Cal Ripken.
Jr.
Cal Ripken Jr. calling in. That's
Jr.
right. And Tony Raimondo. We'll try to get Tony in right after the break. He's the editor of Sync Magazine. We like Sync Magazine a lot.
Yeah, I'm looking through that right now.
It's, a magazine about gadgets. We all love gadgets. What, right?
Well, Ben put little yellow pasty things on pages of interest.
All right, so we'll talk to Tony next. All right, let's get Tony in here. He's been waiting all morning.
I've only seen him like 30 seconds ago. I didn't even know he was here.
No, he's been here a while. It's a very, very busy day, Tony. I'm so sorry to make you wait. It's Tony Raimondo, everybody, from Sync Magazine, the editor of Sync Magazine.
Yes.
We got Cal Ripken calling in about 10 minutes.
Nice.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, really.
And it was 3 years ago today we did our Sex for Sam
Junior.
thing, so we're doing kind of a... Well, he's not really a junior anymore. You guys are laughing, making fun of me. When the father dies, I don't think you're a junior anymore.
Yeah, you are. Your name stays, though, because the name is still Junior. You're still...
Oh, it's the second and the third. That goes away, right? Something goes away.
I didn't know.
Yeah, your allowance.
No, if you're like Cal Ripken the second, and then your father dies, unfortunately, then you drop the second. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
But I guess the junior stays with you. I'm sorry.
Well, I think to be a junior, don't you have to have the same middle name? Because this is fascinating. Everybody, you guys might want to pull over because this is a really interesting story I have. My father's name is James Norton. My name is James Norton.
Much
but this,
to his chagrin.
Well, no, this is where the funny twist comes in, and we're trying to think about how to write 13 episodes around this. His middle name is Vincent, but my middle name is Joseph, so I'm not a junior or second.
Ah.
Look at the next slide. You can.
Hold on.
What happened?
Let me finish that again. So Fat Fingers can push the right button.
I was so excited to make fun of you.
Dude, you should have hit crit. What'd you hit it with your elbow?
No, I was on the wrong template.
Wrong template.
I wanted to be on the first template. I was on the third. I was on the third template.
When in doubt.
Yeah. I stink.
Never fails. Good for any situation.
It's the best clip ever, probably.
Yes, of course.
Besides, he stinks and I don't like him. That's probably the greatest clip.
All right, Tony Raimondo.
Hi,
Sync
Tone.
Magazine. Special issue. Win it. Every gadget in this issue is free?
Every one of them.
What? You're giving away stuff this month?
The whole magazine, everything in it. It's kind of our shameless promotion.
All right, I'll take the car. What do I do?
You go to the editor's letter. There's a code on it. Take your code, go to the website, enter. For you, I could rig it, but not sure if it's legal.
Well, if you want a car, don't you have to sell the most amount of real estate for the month?
Girl Scout cookies.
Second prize is a steak knife, and third prize is you're fucking fired.
It's one of those things that we used to give away a lot of stuff, and realized we'll just give away the whole issue. And the amount of stuff that we were able to acquire, either buy or just get for free, was amazing. Everything from a tricked out Ford Fusion to a year's supply of Bud. Select, year's supply of bratwurst, flat screens, phones, you name it, motorcycles. So it's the same issue it's the same thing that we always put out, but at the end of the day, this one you can basically win every single thing in it.
Everything in it, like every advertisement?
No.
No.
Now there's a little note of that.
All right.
Can't be a butthole. You can't win the models.
I was going to say, can you win the broads?
Can't win the advertisements.
I never thought that. I thought if there's an advertisement for a Pentax camera here.
No, but the advertisements are good, but we got the same stuff in the editorial, basically.
Gotcha.
We did keep all the underwear, bras, bikinis. You can win that.
Don't get so defensive. I understand. I get it.
All right, so why don't we go through some of the highlights of the latest issue there, Tony?
Cool. I think one of the big things is, last time I was here, I was telling you guys about those hard drives, those computers that we bought. And then we sent them out to get dissected.
Oh, yeah. Remember this ad?
Yeah, so
we came back.
We printed it. Basically, we sent them all out to the Secret Service.
Where'd you get these hard drives from again?
We bought them all off eBay, Craigslist.
Yeah, this was because we got a lot of new listeners since you were last in. Basically, they found people's hard drives that they were selling on eBay, and they bought them all, and then they sent them to a lab to see exactly what's on them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All your old computers.
Great idea.
So this
whole you'd buy computers.
Yeah.
Pull the hard drive and see what people were.
And a lot of these people thought they got rid of everything, but they didn't.
Everybody thinks they got rid of it. So this ex-Secret Service agent just tore them apart for 6 months. And I think the greatest thing on there were the emails. 100% of every computer on there had at least 50, 60 emails that were buried somewhere in the back. I mean, I'm talking raunchy, dirty. I think the ones we printed, I can't hang out with you anymore. My knees are swollen. My feet hurt. My back hurts from the stuff you were doing to me. I mean, really embarrassing, shocking stuff. So what we did then was we took all their information because everyone who had information on here had their phone number and all their, so we called them all to ask them what they thought about it. And to see some of these people, smart people, lawyers who know better with divorce contracts, scams, offshore accounts, dirty photos of people. It's pretty good. It's pretty good to know that you are never your stuff's never gone. You're basically screwed forever.
How did they react to it?
A couple of the girls cried. One lawyer threatened to sue us, which he couldn't. But I mean, other stuff like people's full-blown account, their bank account number, their PIN number, things they would never expect. Now, I mean, if a bunch of retards at our magazine can get these computers, send them off to one guy, a bunch of hackers could take it to the cleaners.
It's probably worth buying one online or a few online for the info you're going to get out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, we're not Dateline, so we're not trying to scare anyone, but the best thing is to read people's emails and to just watch how, the interaction, guys cheating on their wives, guys who are my kid sucks at baseball, I mean, the stuff that really hits home that you always think, information you don't want to know is the stuff that kind of blows your mind. There was something else that didn't have to do with it. When I got here, you guys were talking about some kind of, what was it, porn online, or what was the...
No, the pedophile site we found?
Oh, the pedophile
that Jimmy
site.
found?
Yes, it was actually sent to me by somebody, pervertedjustice.com.
You got to do something about this in the magazine.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I can only hear a bit from out there, but what's the gist?
These guys pose as kids, 13, 12-year-old kids, and they wait for some pedophile to approach them in a chat room. They talk as this person, and they even have a girl that will call the guy if they can get the number just to verify that it's really her. And they get the pictures of the person, and they get the phone numbers of the person, and then sometimes they tell them at the end, sometimes they don't, but then they post the whole thing on this very popular website.
Transcripts of the conversation that they had.
Everything. Addresses, and they send stuff to the guy's boss. There's one, I'm trying to sign up for
their webcam pictures that they took and sent of them naked. And
it's like an updated version of the blotter when guys get busted with hookers and they run their names.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm trying to sign up for the chat room. For some reason, it's in my email. No, there's a chat room because they have updates about how they flyer the homes and stuff for some of these guys with the information and the pictures.
Wait, is this like a religious right? Or is it
no, they're trying to catch pedophiles. It's nothing about politics or religious. They're trying to get
law enforcement.
No, not even. They're just people who just, I guess, are with guys trying to fuck 13-year-olds. Yeah,
because there's nothing. You don't need search warrants. You don't need. This is just people going, hey, we had a conversation online. This guy freely sent his pictures to me. We're going to post them on a website. If the guy's got a problem, I'm sure he can sue.
Right.
But he's going to then draw more attention to it. And
like high-tech vigilantes, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they are.
And they put the flyers, I guess, with the pictures and all the information. Maybe of a guy jacking on his home, all over his neighbors and stuff. I mean, they really humiliate you.
You send that stuff to a boss, that's it. Your career's
over.
Yeah,
you would be fried,
What a great idea, though.
We actually covered this new website. It's kind of creepy, but they're trying to promote it as good for the sailors, soldiers, everyone's overseas. It's called highjoy.com, and basically, I don't know if you've heard this, you basically buy a vibrator that has a USB attachment to it that plugs into your keyboard, or like they call it a sailor's best friend, pocket pussy, and for a guy and a girl, and basically you log on to this, it's a chat group with thousands of people, and you have like controls, kind of like your radio controls where you, like an equalizer, and you basically pleasure someone from millions of miles away through your, which is super creepy.
You manipulate the pocket pussy
exactly
with something on your end, so you could be given a hand job or something like that.
Exactly.
From millions of miles away.
Well, they try to
millions of miles.
What planet are they on?
They try to claim it's for like those husband and wife duos that are split on coast to coast, or sailors who miss their wives. But at the end of the day, it's just a bunch of pigs in there. Like,
it's bad enough chatting with somebody and they turn out to be a guy instead of a 13-year-old girl.
Oh, Billy!
Imagine you're sitting there getting a virtual handy by some big fat construction worker on the other end.
Yeah, those things always go wrong.
Do you want to see my picture? Surprise!
You know how awful someone gives a hand job in person? You imagine a cyber hand job? Yank your dick once and then it goes to the side, then back down into your pubes. How awful that would be.
I'll just do this myself, thank you.
Yeah. Did you guys try it out, though? Have anyone at the office try it out?
Yeah, one of the guys tried it out, and it worked. He didn't take his pants down in the office, but he did take it home and try it out. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's so sterile, and you don't know who you're dealing with, and it's kind of a bust. You know, we busted on it ourselves.
But you got to start somewhere, and then the next gadgets they come out with will be a little better. We know how this works. You know?
You'll be strapped in like a fully automated woman, but...
No, it's got to be like the old 80s movies, where you put on those ridiculous virtual reality goggles and lay back, and it's a perfect image of a woman sitting on top of you, and you're feeling her with your dopey virtual reality gloves.
I say right now, it's a good idea. It's going to take some time to figure out the bug. So guys in the lab, hang in there and keep going.
That's it.
Because think about it. 10 years from now, I think it'll be a lot better experience.
Yeah, it'll really feel like it?
I think so. I think so.
If the girl has like a dildo, right, and it's hooked up to her computer, and you slide something over your schlong, and she starts sucking on the dildo, it'll feel exactly like a BJ.
I think eventually they'll
figure that out.
Yes.
I think there isn't something more important to work on right now.
Well, the robots are getting better. You know, the first robots were all, and falling down and stuff, could barely, go forward, and now they're kind of waving and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, my God, that was you? I thought a robot actually walked into the room.
That's what I thought. It startled me.
That was what an awful robot impression.
All just wobbly.
Will Robinson.
There you go.
There you have it. Robot.
Tony, what else is in the magazine?
Basically just more of the same. Motorcycles, ATVs, flat screens. We started something new. We do the top 10 cameras, cell phones, TVs. But I guess the real gist of this issue that goes on sale tomorrow is that it's just all free. There's no strings attached. I'm not trying to capture information.
You just have to sign up to win all this fine stuff in the magazine.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah, buy it. Go to the get your code out of the front of the magazine. Just hit.
You giving away one of each?
Sometimes multiple. I mean,
Okay.
one car, one motorcycle.
What's the hottest gadget out there right now, in your opinion? Out of all gadgets, whether it's a phone, MP3 player, satellite radio.
Hottest gadget for me is there's this thing called the Motorola Ojo. And basically, it's a video phone. It stands about 16 inches, maybe 12 inches tall. Put it on your desk. It's like the first time that you see these crap their phone video cameras that you're supposed to be able to talk to someone from across the country, and they're always blurry and they don't work. This one's like it's like True Time. It's the first one that actually doesn't blur and the voice catches up with the vision. I sent one to a buddy of mine in Chicago who. The guy's a total pig, and he's single. He's always out picking up girls, and he claims that each one is always the hottest chick ever. So he has one. So we did like a month-long test where every time he brought a girl home, we had to, he'd present her in front of this camera. But basically, you plug it in through your internet, and you're good to go. It's true life. So if you have a sick mother across the country, good for families, but also good for catching your friend with fatties.
Yeah, that's what you use it for, your sick mom. That's what you want to do. Not only is she irritating to talk to, but you want to look at her laying there with her fucking feet up in a bed.
Yeah, Tony.
Please.
Some people enjoy family time.
Nobody wants to talk to their mother on a video phone. You talk to her on the phone.
Heartless.
How are you supposed to make up an excuse if she can see you? Hey, look, Ma, I gotta go. The guys are here. Then you're sitting there by yourself.
But
where are the guys? Put them in on the camera.
And we all know all new technology is about sex to begin with, and then eventually you figure out other ways to use that technology. They talk about the printing press, and the one thing that it was used for the most out of anything was just telling sex stories back in the day. And then eventually whoa, hey, we could write down other crap with this thing, you know? But it always starts with sex. The internet, same thing, man. I mean, when we all got our first computers, what were we doing? The whole porno thing.
Slowly downloading.
But now
porno.
it's like, wait, you could do online banking, and you could get a flight. Now you're figuring out other uses.
Yeah, porn drives it
all.
all.
The same thing is going to be with the video phones, obviously. It's going to be people that are separated, and then eventually, all right, let me see the goddamn grandkids.
Yeah. I mean, the thing actually works.
And the new baby and stuff.
It's quite impressive. I haven't used it for sex yet, nor sick mothers, but it'll come around.
Well, the beautiful thing is if you have a certain kind of family, maybe you could use it for the same thing. What are you wearing, Mom? Oh, it's orthopedic shoes and a diaper.
Nothing on that. Just freak her. Yeah, I like that. Freak her out, make believe you're talking to somebody else. What else you got in here, Tony?
We got we took 3 women. There's I guess this guy across town up here has this magic scientific machine that he
Hold on, we got to break into this exclusive interview with Tony Raimondo from Sync Magazine because we got a Hall of Famer on the line here. It's Cal Ripken Jr., everyone. Cal.
Hey, good morning.
Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show. We got little Jimmy Norton in studio and Tony Raimondo, who's the editor of Sync Magazine, which is a gadget magazine. So,
all right.
How are you, Mr. Ripken?
I'm doing pretty well.
How long you had a show on XM now?
Not long enough.
Oh, really?
No, we're once a week, and we're getting up and running and trying to feel where our place would be.
Different type of business, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I never had any judgment one way or another how difficult it would be, but once you get into it, it is pretty much a full-time job.
It seems pretty easy, radio, up until right up until you have to do it. Like everyone thinking about radio, it's like, oh, that seems like an easy gig, and then you get in there and realize you have to talk for so long, and it has to be something of substance most of the time.
Well, that's the big problem, I think, is that you have to prepare for it, and you have to look at the issues, you kind of comb what you think you want to talk about, but then you really don't know that once you start having to fill time, the worst thing that can happen is you start rambling. And we actually start off with we have a section in the first part of the shows we call Ripken Ramblings because, darn if we weren't rambling so much early on that we just decided we were going to call that segment of the show Rambling. But the more you talk and the less you think about it, the less substantive your message becomes.
Do you is it mostly sports, or you guys find yourself just going off on politics or just lifestyle? Or?
No, we're very narrow-minded. Yeah. No, we only know about one thing. That's baseball. But actually, I joined in. I think XM's a great product, and we had talks in the early stages about me coming on to support and endorse. That as a spokesperson, but also the show platform. I had the ability to talk about Major League Baseball. Billy certainly has the same sort of credentials that I do. But I jumped on board because I wanted to have a segment about youth baseball. I want to have a platform in which all the youth coaches could tap into, and we could actually talk directly to the coaches at the grassroots and the kids at the grassroots, and whatever that was on their minds, we would like to discuss, because all the issues, whether you're in, where I am in Aberdeen, Maryland, the local rec issues are the same here as it is in any other part of the country.
Yeah, well, you've kicked off a baseball camp, haven't you?
Well, I mean, since I've retired, I have taken on a pretty Herculean task, which is to try to grow baseball worldwide. And really and that's our mission, but I think that's a little lofty. But I have a whole league that's named after me. Babe Ruth Baseball renamed their lower division 6 years ago to Cal Ripken Baseball.
Oh, I was going to say, your name's Babe Ruth? It's like, named after me, Babe Ruth.
I changed my name to Babe Ruth.
That's true. It used to be called the Bambino division, because Babe Ruth used to be 13 and over, and then they went to a younger division early 80s, and they wanted to really grow that part of their, and that is the largest division, so they decided that they were going to take a chance and name it after me. And we've been growing. We're the only youth baseball league that's growing. I guess we're considered technically competitors of Little League, although I don't look at it that way. I think whatever good ideas that we might bring to the table for the kids, and in a teaching sense or a philosophical sense, I think if anybody else adopts that, then in all the leagues, the kids win out, and that's who we're really targeting.
Now, Cal, I know you have a great image. Do you ever see a kid, though? I know you wouldn't say anything to him, but you see one kid and you just go, wow, this kid has no place in baseball whatsoever. And what do you do?
Well, an image comes from consistent behavior over a long period of time. And it doesn't mean that you're goody two-shoes right from the beginning. And a lot of people would argue that I'm not goody two-shoes anyway. Mm-hmm. And your image tends in the marketplace or the media to be a little overblown and maybe exaggerated either way.
You enjoy a blue-colored joke every so often, right?
Sure.
Look at you being safe. Actually, Anthony brings up a good point, because I have a nephew. His name's JD. He's 7, and he already has incredible skills on the the baseball field. And I go to a lot of his games, and you just see those other kids that you just wish maybe someone would pull them aside and go, maybe you should try another. Not to discourage them, I don't believe in that, but maybe try to steer them in a different direction.
Getting some skates.
Yeah, like my nephew's getting down on the ground balls and digging in, and he's just got really good skills at 7. And then you got this kid who runs to first base, and then he starts like spinning around like a ballerina.
What do you do in that?
So you're looking at skill levels, not attitudes or reputations or behavior.
What do you do when you're Cal Ripken Jr.? You see this happening at one of your baseball camps, and what do you do?
Well, the reality is kids develop at all different levels, and you want to keep an open mind as much as you can to give them an opportunity to develop. I can't tell you how many people that I played against that I thought were just true, absolute superstars, but all of a sudden their development stopped really abruptly. The guys that are superstars at 12, most of them don't even make the high school team. And you would think that would be the wrong sort of thinking. So you have to keep an open mind, and you try to give them enough of the skills. But certainly there are kids that just doesn't have the hand-eye coordination. But I still want them to try to enjoy the sport. Most people that do play the sport, and I want to try to encourage them to play the sport as long as they are able, because they're the next generation of baseball fans. They're going to share their experiences or their fun or their love of the sport with their families down the road, and they become the next people that tune into the TV and watch the game at the ballpark. So I think truly, like any other thing, it really starts at the grassroots level, and baseball would really, do itself justice for the long term by really focusing on the grassroots and trying to get kids excited and interested in baseball again. They've started to slip to other sports. Football and basketball seems to have captured some of the interest of the kids. And it'd be great for baseball and for everybody that has played baseball to try to focus on showing the kids how great a game it is.
Yeah. When did you know that you had something as a kid? How old were you? Do you remember?
Well, I think relatively speaking, when you look around, I always knew that I had a little bit more talent. And I grew up in a baseball family. Genetically, I was very gifted. And I was at the ballpark in minor league baseball. My dad was a minor league manager then. And I got to catch and throw a whole lot more than the other kids.
Yeah.
And but I knew I had a little bit more of a talent just because things came a lot easier to me. But as you go up, those levels that you're challenged at get harder and harder and harder. And most people can remember the levels of play in Little League at 12 years old, but they they don't fathom what it's like when you leave high school. And then you leave high school, and then in some cases you go to college, and then you start it all over again when you get to pro ball. Every time you make another jump, you were the star of your team when you were there, and you go up to the next level, you become less of a star and more like one of the persons there. It was abrupt awakening when I left high school to go to pro ball. I was the star on my high school team.
Sure.
Then you're assembled with stars of all the other high school teams and all the other college teams, and you don't feel so good about yourself anymore. So you got to go back and work a little harder.
You broke. I think what is probably going to be. There's 2 records in baseball. I think will probably never be broken. Cy Young and I think this one now. I don't think anybody will ever play as many games in a row as you did. When you hear a kid like who's like says he doesn't want to play a game because he has a cold or something, do you ever just want to grab him by the shoulders and scream, toughen up, fag?
Jesus. I've never had that urge. No. It is really interesting because the expectations. I wasn't someone that had 100% attendance in high school. I wasn't someone that played every single game all the way through youth baseball and even in the minor leagues. First time I played every single game in the season was in Double-A, and it was the longest and hardest season. I played 144 games, and the reason I played in all those games wasn't because I set out to do that. It was just my dad said, "This is your job. This is your role as a baseball player. You're supposed to come to the ballpark ready to play and available to the manager." And if you really look at the streak and how it was defined, I had some very good managers early on in my career that kept writing my name in the lineup, and the streak was really established because those managers kept wanting me to play, and I kept playing. And I honestly believe all players in the big leagues should come to the ballpark with that simple, honest philosophy. And the manager's job, the reason you hire that manager, is for him to choose those 9 players on a daily basis that can help you win. So I don't look and I really don't judge even my own son or anybody else. You got to sit back and say, learn the game, love the game, and hopefully you have the skills that will put you in a position that I was in my life.
How far into it were you when you started to realize, like, I actually have a shot at Gehrig's record, like where you might, like any injury that, say, may have kept you out under normal circumstances, that you started to play through and say, look, I can't blow this now? Like, how long into it before that thinking started to happen? I never
said I can't blow this now, but all the way through, when you play 162 games and you come to the ballpark again with that attitude, there are most of the days you're not 100%. And it's impossible for anybody, even the reserve players that sit on the bench and get 200 at-bats for the course of the season. When you travel and you play and you practice every single day, you're not going to be at your 100%. It's how you play in those games that you feel the worst. And luckily enough for me, when I would have a small injury or I would have something I'd have to get through, somehow your ability to focus and concentrate would go up, and I would actually play better when the expectations were a little bit lowered. I remember I hyperextended my elbow one time sliding into second base. And when I went to the on-deck circle, I couldn't swing the bat comfortably in the on-deck circle, and I was really concerned that I wasn't going to be able to hit. I immediately figured out when I swung and missed, it hurt like all get out.
You could say whatever you want. Satellite.
Actually, a lot of people are begging you to curse. Sure. It would make their year if you just said one curse.
They know I do on a regular basis. When you swing and hit the ball, it didn't hurt. So therefore, I became more selective at the plate, and I really focused that every time that I was going to swing the bat, which might be a really good way to hit anyway.
Yeah.
That I made sure that I hit the ball, and I got hotter than I had ever been in my career because of a hyperextended elbow.
Did you at one point? I think didn't you start traveling separately from the team at one point? Were there security concerns? Because I know when I think it was Maris was going for Ruth's record. He was getting like death threats, and there's just so many. And Hank Aaron got him. I mean, there's so many sociopaths out there. Did you get any of that crap?
Yeah, during the year that the record was broken, there were many kind of crazies that gave in those sort of threats and they came into the form of the hotels or the ballparks.
Wow.
And all of them didn't check out, but I mean, it doesn't mean that or all of them weren't they didn't mean anything. But at the time, you had to really take it sort of more seriously. And I guess because you go through an experience like that, you become a little bit more security conscious, and you make decisions in your life. And some of that stuff got all blown out of proportion. But you make those choices, and you try to do what's best for you, and what's best for your family. And I didn't stay in a separate hotel because of security reasons. When I started to get more attention and my daily routines were thrown off, staying in a team hotel environment was for my personality in the way that I try to give everything I could to the people in an autograph form and to the media and also to me as a player. and you needed some downtime to recharge. And when you went back to the team hotel, that sort of situation kept escalating and escalating, where you wouldn't get any sort of peace away from the ballpark. And one time and when my wife would travel with me on the road, I'd always stay at a different place to take her out of that environment. One time, she didn't join me on the trip, and I was there in a hotel by myself, and it was in New York. And I came down and I found there was a certain peace that I felt was really healthy for me. That in certain cities, when those situations were at its worst, that I would take advantage of that. And so I didn't stay in all hotels away from the teams, but the ones that were the hard ones for me to recharge, I would go ahead and take that into my own hands. And I was very upfront about it, and I told everybody, so everybody knew where I was going to be, and never missed a team bus, never missed any sort of game, and we're all adults anyway, after all.
Yeah. What do you do to get away from baseball? Because I mean, it's got to be frustrating that everybody that talks to you has to talk about baseball. Do you like astronomy, Cal? What else interests you? What do you do to get away from it?
Well, I wasn't kidding so much when I said that I really have a narrow existence. Sports
Huh?
has been my life.
Yeah.
And baseball, I do enjoy talking about and examining and looking into. So as a hobby, if you're looking at other hobbies, other sports are my hobby. I love basketball. I built a gym inside my house, partly to rationalize that I needed to train in the off season, but it was really so I could play basketball at home.
I see something off the wall though, like you like chemistry and have a chemistry set in your basement or something.
No, I hate chemistry.
It's crossword puzzles. Crossword puzzle.
This
is Times crossword puzzle.
I was very good in math, and so now my kids are going through school and they got to come home with homework. When it comes to science things, I don't like science things at all.
No,
I didn't seem to get it, so I'm not very helpful there.
You play chess?
When it comes to math, chess intrigued me for a little while, but I let that go a long time ago.
This is an important baseball question.
Sure.
Why do they call Randy Johnson the big unit? I've heard different rumors. I have heard different rumors, and if it's because of the reason I'm thinking of, I just love the fact that they'll call him that on national television. They have no idea why.
Well, I've never been a teammate of his, so I really can't answer that question.
But is that what the rumor is, right, that he has a big hog?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, sorry I had to ask you that. You're a Hall of Famer, and I asked you about another man's penis. But, I mean, I've heard that.
That's awful, Jimmy.
That's what the rumor is on Randy Johnson. It's just funny on national television when they're saying the big unit.
I always assumed it was because he was 6'10".
Right.
I think that's how they get away with it, but I think, it's like a little nod and a wink.
So what were you guys talking about on your show yesterday, Cal? What's the big baseball story that you guys are focusing on?
Well, we examined everybody wanted. I was in the Bahamas when the Rafael Palmeiro story came out.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted my reaction to that.
Mm-hmm.
And when we came back, I was promoting a Champions Tour golf tournament here in town with Constellation Energy, and then I became available to the media. So they were able to get a response from me. But in the show, we really looked at the public relations aspect of some of the decisions and how you go about it. We don't know a whole lot about the legal ramifications because it seems like the lawyers seem to say you can't say anything because it might affect the case, or there's a perjury trial going on, or the congressional hearing information. But just from a straight public relations, how Rafi seemed to look more guilty by the way that he was handling it. And my reaction was I was hoping that there's some sort of plausible explanation. As someone that, and from a common sense standpoint, you start to wonder whether that's really going to be the case or not. And the longer it lasts, the longer it goes, you realize there might not be an explanation for it. But we looked at the public relations aspect and how we had a guy by the name of John Maroon on that was a director of public relations when I was going through in 1995, who also works for us now at Ripken Baseball. But he has a good perspective on how he would advise players during tough situations, and he has some good experience with that. So we kind of examined that from more young players coming to the big leagues and they don't really know what to do, but they have to handle the media. And the media is way more savvy, and they know how to actually work the different angles and kind of get people to say, things that they want them to say. They're more experienced at it on a day-to-day basis, and it seems to be a little bit more of a mismatch. So we just examined, what might be the right way if Rafael, was totally guilty. We looked at the hypotheticals. How would he actually come clean and say you're sorry and move on with his career, and but more importantly, how he could go on with his life.
Hey,
that was
Cal.
a long-winded explanation, wasn't it?
But it was good.
I could ramble.
Hey, Cal, what do you think of that urban legend about you and Kevin Costner?
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
The rumors you're talking about?
Yeah, it's urban myth now. It's one of those like urban legends that obviously is false, but it must come up a lot. What did you and your family think about that one?
I don't. I mean, there's a small urban legend around here that I sold my house to Will Smith.
Really?
And people have actually come up and asked for Will at my front door a couple times. But I don't know. I mean, I guess at some point when you reach a level of popularity, you become more interesting to other people in many different ways, and I can't really begin to fathom. I've never been a gossipy person or someone that would actually talk about people unless you really knew, but that seems to be a symptom of popularity. So you live it, you accept it. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. You can just control what you do in your life and what you stand for.
You ever meet Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
And have you ever talked about it? You must get a laugh about it.
I think that's how all the rumors started. Is that early? I did meet him, and we became pretty good friends there early on. And then he got busy, we got busy, and so he was coming to the ballpark a couple times. He was seen, in my seats.
Right.
And we had done a couple things together, but I have talked to him about it, and his way to deal with it is say, look, I'm gonna go out there. I'm tired of this. Let me just set the record straight. And I went, well, to me, it is what it is, and it's not true. And you only bring more attention to it by screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
So why don't you just let it stay where it is? So we have two different ways of handling it.
Well, for your for your peace of mind, it's on what's called Snopes.com, which is an urban legend site, and it's clearly marked as false.
Yeah, well, it is false, but
there was no blackout that day.
No,
at the stadium.
You're talking about the lights.
Well, the lights. Yeah, well,
that's a really. If you really just looked into it just a little bit, the lights that when they canceled the game to preserve my streak because of my personal issues, supposedly.
Right. Yeah. With Kevin Costner and the wife. Yeah.
In that particular game alone, it's really, really interesting because we had to make a decision whether we'd play with the bank of lights out. And you know who was pitching?
Oh.
The big unit.
There you
go. Randy Johnson was pitching in that game, and we had to decide we'd make up the game the next day in a day game. And I had the idea to say, look, I'd rather face him with a little bit lower lights in nighttime because the background's better. In Camden Yards, a lefty throwing out of the bleachers out of center field is not good when a guy's throwing 100 miles an hour. So I was actually out on the field testing whether we could play.
So you actually wanted to play more than, I guess, the people that
I was out there standing on the field playing catch while the umpires were viewing. Okay, I was helped determining whether there was enough light to actually play, and I said there was.
And where was Kevin Costner, sir?
I don't know. But I think that the Lou Piniella that thought the game was canceled, and I think a couple of their guys started drinking a couple beers, and that
was
sealed the fate.
Hey, did you ever play for Cal? Did you ever play for All Weaver? You did, right?
I did, yes.
Did you ever hear that great clip? It's our favorite sound clip.
Is it? I'm sure I've heard it up front and live.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he had quite the potty mouth.
Yeah, we'll play that going into break, actually.
He was a good motivator.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question that's kind of off the record. I met you once in the XM thing in Vegas, and we took a picture together. So if I send it to you, would you autograph it?
Sure, but you'd have to send it to the right address.
You're in D.C., right?
Yeah, you can send it there.
I might as well give out your home address right now on the show.
Right. How do you feel about signing things, especially with people really profiteering on signing? I mean, do you make a distinction between a kid that wants an autograph and some guy that's obviously a collector?
Well, over the years, with enough experience, you can see which ones are doing it for a living, which ones aren't.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's any doubt, I would always err on the side of thinking he was not a collector.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, we should let Cal go.
Cal,
here.
thanks so much.
Hold on, we got to get the plug in. 2005 Cal Ripken World Series is happening now, right, Cal?
That's right. That's where I'm heading from here. I'm going up there to the final game is on the 21st. But we're deciding who gets there right now.
It's a small version of Camden Yards they built.
Oh, it's Cal Seniors Yard. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility. I think it's unlike any other little guys field in this country or anywhere else.
And for tickets, you call 410-547-SEAT, 410-547-SEAT. And let's not forget, you're doing the radio thing on XM channel 175, right?
Yep, 175. It's on at Saturday mornings at 10.
It starts at 10? Cause
it's 8 to 10, I'm sorry.
8 to 10 Saturday morning and Sunday 9 to 11.
I misspoke, right.
Okay.
Yep.
Cal, this was a pleasure for us. You have
Thank
no
you very
idea,
much,
man.
guys.
Continued
All right.
success with all the stuff you're doing there.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling in.
It's Cal Ripken Jr., everyone.
Have a great show.
Take care.
Cal.
Bye-bye.
Pretty cool, huh?
What was that? Talking with the legend.
Dude, in 100 years, when they look in record books, his name is still going to be there.
Yeah.
No one is breaking that record. Nobody.
I got to be honest, we were all a little timid to bring up the Kevin Costner
I
thing.
had to bring it up. Come on.
You have to. No, Ann was great.
The guy
'cause
handles it
I'll be
fine.
honest, I'm holding up a note to Jimmy. Jimmy backs off on him like, Anthony, I wasn't going to do it.
I didn't even know about it.
Basically, something to do with, like, they actually turned the lights off at the ballpark because
Here's
Cal...
what the story is.
All right, you got it on Snopes.
It's false. It says Cal Ripken Jr. was allowing Kevin Costner, the actor, to stay in his house following the wrap-up of The Postman. One day, Ripken left for Camden Yards to play in a game. Somewhere between his home and the stadium, Cal realized that he had left something back at his house, turned back to retrieve it. Upon arriving at his house, he found Kevin Costner in bed with his wife, Kelly. Cal then proceeded to beat the crap out of Costner to the point that Costner was unable to make any public appearances for a time. Cal then called the Orioles and told them he wouldn't be coming into play that day. Upon hearing this, the owner reminded Cal about the streak, telling him the streak would end if he didn't play that day. Cal told him it was impossible for him to come in, so there went the streak. Reportedly, the owner told him not to worry because he would take care of it. That night, the game was canceled due to electrical failure with some lights on the field. The caller said that there was no problem with the lights and that everything else, including the hotels and restaurant, part of Camden Yards, worked perfectly. The next day, the lights were fixed. Cal was able to play, and the streak stayed intact. Obviously, it was all fake. That never happened that way, like Cal said. There was a problem with the lights. That's why they called the game. He was there. Wasn't a problem with Kevin Costner at his house.
Isn't it amazing what assholes fans are? Like, the lights go out, and they have to find a reason to, like, make some kind of a sexual, awful scandal out of it.
You know what it is?
Creeps.
It's typical conspiracy theory public. They love a secret that they figured out. And this is just another one. Light failure? What? The streak didn't end because of the... Oh, that's what it was. Kevin Costner.
All right. Why don't we take a break, and we'll continue with Tony from Sync Magazine after the break.
And then,
You tool. Totally nailed him. Oh, no.
Oh, you want to play games?
Yeah, I'll play games.
Point Jimmy.
That's right.
Damn it.
I play in the majors, you go play in the little Cal League.
Is that the reason for all the Lysol?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. We all have our own Lysol.
Well, what about Opie? He cut one, too.
Mine don't smell. Everyone
I know.
knows that by now.
Rotten little oatmeal farts.
We go to break with Earl Weaver. This thing is a... See, I can't say classic.
Classic.
What? It's phenomenal.
This thing... This thing is awesome.
Now, the Manager's Corner, with the thoughts and opinions of the American League's winningest manager, the Orioles' Earl Weaver. Today's show is sponsored by Baltimore's Sixth Best, your area Oldsmobile dealers, Anderson Olds, Schaefer and Strominger Olds, Lee Oldsmobile, Metro Olds, City Olds, and Stuberger Olds. And now, to the Manager's Corner with Earl Weaver.
Well, Bill Whitehouse, Earl, that certainly is an answer. From Frederick, Maryland, wants to know why you and the Orioles don't go out and get some more team speed.
Team speed, for Christ's sake. You get fucking goddamn little fleas on the fucking bases, getting picked off, trying to steal, getting thrown out, taking runs away from you. You get them big cocksuckers that can hit the fucking ball out of the ballpark and you can't make any goddamn mistake.
Well, certainly this show is going to go down in history, Earl. Terry Elliott of Washington, D.C. wants to know why you don't use Terry Crowley as a designated hitter all the time.
Well, Terry Crowley's lucky he's in fucking baseball, for Christ's sake. He was released by the Cincinnati Reds. He was released by the fucking goddamn Atlanta Braves. We saw that Terry Crowley could sit on his fucking ass for 8 innings and enjoy watching a baseball game just like any other fan, and has the ability to get up there and break one open in the fucking ninth. So if this cocksucker would mind his own business and let me manage the fucking team, we'd be a lot better off.
Well, certainly you've made your opinions known on the fans' questions about baseball, Earl, but let's get to something else. Alice Sweet from Norfolk wants to know the best time to put in a tomato plant.
Alice Sweet ought to be worried about where the fuck her next lady's coming from rather than where her next goddamn tomato plant's coming from. If she'd get her ass out of the fucking bars at night and go hustling around the goddamn street, she might get a prick stuck in her once in a while. I don't understand where these questions are coming from, Tom. That's about it for Manager's Corner. Go fuck yourself and the fuck with your show coming up next on the Baltimore Oriole Baseball fucking Network.
Welcome
Opie and Andrew. Oh, dinner. Hey, man. Here you go. No. That's cool. Keep it. Chicken.
All right, where were we? We went from gadgets that you use during sex to Cal Ripken Jr. That's the beauty of the Opie and Anthony show.
To a quick double-barrel fart from both of you.
Oh, yeah. We could turn on a dime. Yes. We showed respect in our Cal Ripken Jr. interview, and then as soon as that was over, Jimmy and I farted.
Is the, oh, Jesus.
I just realized that you have the spray for the air, but the wipes in case he gambles and loses.
Yeah, Lysol sanitizing wipes.
Tony Raimondo in studio, the editor of Sync Magazine, and it's a great issue. It's always a great issue, but especially this month because they're giving away a lot of free stuff. A lot of free stuff. Pretty much everything in the magazine as you read it, you can win.
I didn't know. Was the Costner thing a touchy issue?
Huge.
Yeah.
Is it like touchy?
I still think it was good to ask because
I had no idea. I just blurted it out, but I didn't know. Is he like?
Who told you it was a touchy issue?
You know not to talk about that around him or
Who
something?
said that?
I don't know. It just seems like it's a touchy issue, iffy.
A lot of people, I think it depends on how you address it, and the way you do was really respectful and not like a dick. I mean, if someone like came out around and goes, so what's this, Yeah. But look, it's a legitimate question. It was a giant rumor, bullshit rumor, but in the middle of chasing one of the most, one of the most unbreakable streaks in all of sports. So, I mean, it's not a crazy question. It's not like something from childhood with whatever. It was, I think it was a legitimate question. And you asked it well.
He did.
Because you're very good at that. You asked it well, and he did.
You, Jimmy.
And he answered it well.
Of
he didn't really
course.
dodge it.
He didn't freak out. He knows.
He was friends with Costner.
Have a lot of respect for that guy.
That's how the rumor came up.
Definitely. All right, Tony, did we cover everything, you think?
I think we did.
Are we missing anything?
How often should I get a new phone?
Good point, and good question.
I keep getting phones,
Attaboy.
And then, like, a month or so later, I'll look at someone else's phone and go, motherfucker, that's a better phone than mine.
You'll never catch up to what everyone else has. But now that you have, like, a SIM card in it, you can switch every 6 months. You don't have to, switch services and all that. You just pop the card out and put it in.
SIM card isn't going to give me a better display, and I'm not going to be able to, like, get live video on it.
It depends on what you want. I mean, there's, if you're looking to just surf the internet or take video or...
Yeah, I like surfing the internet on the phone, but I don't like surfing the internet with the stupid servers that are only available to, like, WAP, those horrible servers that you get. You can't get to any real websites. You get to these phone websites. I like regular websites, but I don't want to carry around something that's, the size of one of those Trio, what are they called?
I have a Trio. It's a little big, but I can do magazine stuff, while I'm on the road. But there's a new service called Evdo that's coming out. It's like Geek Speak, but it's EVDO, and it's supposed to be like high speed for just small phones, just like your computer would be.
Yeah.
But most people, I think the real serious tech dorks change every 6 months or a year.
It's about it. Every 6 months, I start looking around, going, "What the fuck? This thing was great."
I hate Trios and that stupid open. I don't like the open screen. Like I have the Samsung, which is no good anymore. Like it's done. They don't make them anymore. It's a flip, but it's got like an Palm Pilot in it, but it's a flip. I hate the open screen. It's annoying because you get like boogers on stuff on it.
I don't like open. I don't like having the buttons exposed either because I don't know how many of my friends have a message of me going, I don't know. What do you want to do? Yeah. Okay, just driving and you hear in the background for minutes at a time. I get that from Opie every so often. Do you have exposed buttons?
Of course I do.
On your phone? Every so often I just hear, yeah, we'll stop here, I guess. And then, we'll get going about 10 or something. Just Opie discussing things. I listen, waiting to hear him badmouth me or something.
That's why
you always listen, don't you?
That's why you have to listen.
You don't want to, but you have to.
It's like, oh no.
Like, I don't want to hear something
I do a radio show with him every day. What is he going to say?
When a girlfriend calls, like I've had that with girlfriends where they call, and all of a sudden, like, the phone's on, and you're like, oh, go ahead, twat. I got you now, bitch. And it's never anything eventful. You realize how boring they really are.
It's just dull. A lot of it is just background noise and driving. Like they're driving somewhere. That's all you hear. My parents, I get that one, too. You hear them going, Sal, slow down. Great, I gotta listen to this.
Or your friend, you're like, you just hear like, a bunch of the car going in the circles where it sounds to be the same block, And then you hear like beep beep.
Hi, Daddy. Hi, Big Daddy.
You're like, what is this? I'm like, oh, it's a TV show.
Hi, yeah. No, your mommy said you should come with me. She's hurt in the hospital.
We gotta get to a few things before we get out of here.
What up?
CBS screwed up on live TV. We got
I read that story and didn't get it.
We got the Oompa Loompa thing.
Oh, I love the Oompa Loompa story.
Well, Jimmy, do that real fast. You got it in front of you.
Cruel prank on kin. A lot of this is highlighted. The Bronx victim of a sick joke. A midnight text.
Kind of sick joke?
What's that? Some kind of sick joke? I want to take a giant shit on you. The Bronx victim of a sick joke. Midnight text message claiming that her 89-year-old mother had been brought back to life. This woman is suing Columbia Hospital for $10 million. In the early morning hours before her mom's August 2nd funeral, Joan Cahill got an instant message from, where is it? Someone screen named Columbia Presbyteria. And this is what the thing said. It said, we have some miraculous news. Through the groundbreaking medical experiments, we have succeeded in resuscitating your mother from her lifeless state. But when she pressed for more information from Dr. Schneider, head surgeon at Columbia Presbyterian, the person wrote back, no, actually, you stupid cunt bitch, she's fucking dead.
Yeah, which way is north?
Oh. All right.
Why don't you put the right template on there?
What is wrong with this today? It's actually me. I can't blame anyone else. I screwed up
You
again.
have template 1 on there, right?
I
set it for 1. What are you set for? You're set for 3.
I thought I had it on 1.
I was hoping to get the studio audience on that one.
I know. That's the one I was going for.
That was the good one.
You got it? All right, let's just finish the last line.
You can't.
Opie, I'm telling you, they'll
Comedy's all
laugh.
about timing. I screwed you up, Jimmy.
No, you didn't.
I get a failing mark on today's radio show.
Cut it out, you. It'll still work.
I was hanging in there with the C minus, but I got a failing grade today. I fucked up a bunch of times today.
It's worth half your grade.
It was which way is north?
Which way is north?
Damn it!
How about this one? Maybe the next line. Cahill was still visibly shaken yesterday.
It's the same. I'm sorry, Jimmy.
It doesn't matter.
Well, here's where CBS screwed up. They did that story on TV, and they're showing what the guy said, and they didn't blur out the C word there. So it went out over TV.
Wait. It was a graphic? They put up the text?
Yeah.
And they left cunt in?
Yeah. Someone screwed up.
Wouldn't you just type ...
Right. Obviously, someone just typed it up as it was,
as it was really supposed to be, and sent it to the newsroom.
And no one double-checked it to go, whoa, hey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have looked great.
Oh, that was a big
TV.
story over the weekend. So, yeah, the C word was on CBS TV.
What kind of scumbag would do that?
I don't know. What kind of idiot thinks there's some process that...
You never know. You got an older person. She's 89. Who knows? I don't know. It's...
Hello? We have a life-saving experimental surgery. You can contact me at Bob Edwards at XM Radio.
Poor Bob Edwards.
Ghoul.
He never did anything wrong.
Nothing.
Other than turn into a small flying mammal and leave the scene of a biting.
I don't even think the guy gossips behind our back.
Of course he doesn't.
At the water cooler. Nothing.
He's a saint.
Nothing from him, and we just slam him every chance we get.
He's the nicest dude. I've walked by his studio. He's just sitting there drinking a glass of
blood.
What apparently is red Kool-Aid. Yeah. Pulpy Kool-Aid.
I had to make up for the wrong button I pushed.
Oh, Bob Edwards is a vampirish, creepy
Can we get the
fellow.
Oompa Loompa in before we leave? Unfortunately, we're running out of show here.
Let's see. A guy claims that he was one of Willy Wonka's Oompa Loompas in the original 1971 motion picture, the Willy Wonka movie back then. And he's been selling himself as this guy for years, ever since then. He's obviously a fidget. And someone called him out on it finally, and he's come forward and said, yes, he was lying, and he was not an Oompa Loompa.
That's terrific.
That is terrific.
That's terrific.
Little fidget. He said it was not for the fame or glory. He never made profit or earned financial gain from this, so they can't arrest him or anything. Asked why he did it. There's something so special when a child looks at a little person and they're not scared or feel like they're looking at a freak. Yeah. When you say you played that part, they look at you and smile. They see you as a human being. He never intended harm to anyone or his community while he told this little white lie, but it became my haunted nightmare, he says, constantly trying to cover up the fact that he wasn't an Oompa Loompa.
Because he was 5'8". Can I say how great it is? How fucking far down the scale is your life that your idea of getting dignity is falsely claiming that you played a chocolate-making midget with green hair who rhymed a lot? This guy's a little jizz bucket.
He was 23 at the time when he told his agent to pad his resume with an acting credit from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Do you know how this guy should be punished? Instead of being arrested, he should be forced for the rest of his life to dress like an Oompa Loompa while large Negroes dress like Willy Wonka and rape his mouth.
The real humorous note to this, though, they found out what happened to the original 10 Oompa Loompas. And apparently, let's see, 8 of them are dead. One of them is in seclusion, and the other one is in a nursing home, blind and with Alzheimer's. There is a God.
That's gotta be a great version of that song. Oompa Doopa
Loompa Loompa Dee Dee. I'm pissing myself and I just can't see.
Just
a little Alzheimer's blind midget running around screaming things from the past.
I'd like to go and hug that Oompa Loompa and then just pick it up and throw it on the hospital floor and scold it.
Smash its head on the corner of a porcelain sink.
Don't we have the music? That would have been cool to play the... I like that.
Loompa dee doo.
No.
I can't remember. I have to go poo.
Loompa dee doo. I've got a perfect puzzle for you. Oompa loompa loompa dee dee. If you are wise, you'll listen to me.
They can sing.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, we have no time to go off on 800 Oompa Loompa songs.
I was really hoping we could,
No.
Tony, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Tony, why didn't you call me, Tony?
Pick up the latest issue of Sync Magazine if you're a gadget guy or gal. We love the magazine, and that's it for today. We'll do something tomorrow.
This Robert Reed is an Oompa Loompa.
Program complete.